Comic Timing is member supported by listeners like you over at patreon.com/comic timing. We thank you so much, so very much for your continued support of the show. For as little as $1 a month, you can join up and contribute to the continued output of the show, get some diary entries, get some other behind-the-scenes goodies in there as well. And we thank you very much for your continued support at patreon.com/comic timing. Hey there, folks. My name's Ian Levinstein, and welcome to episode 229 of Comic Timing. And squeaking in at the very end of the month, like we've never done before, not like that ever happens, it's previews time, and Murd's with me for it, for a fearsome twosome with potentially Raph at some point tonight if he can stick it in, and if not, then worst comes to worst. It is very much happy to see you again, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm very glad to be back again in your presence, Ian.
Yes, indeed.
My spirit could use some tonicking.
Copyright Chris Eberly, all rights reserved. And
used by permission.
Yes, indeed. We are going to be tackling the previews catalog for September with books mainly set for November. Which means I'm sure there'll be at least one Thanksgiving comic in there for good measure, but it's going to be previews 432, the Image catalog, whatever it decides to be. DC is, what's the number on it? Oh, 52. Ha-ha!
Most DC number there is.
I know. Wow. Okay. Good for them. That means clearly there's going to be a relaunch after this. And issue 36 of the Marvel previews as well. And we will go ahead and get things started as we tend to do with Image. And I'll get up here. And it is a very important month for Image Comics and for fans of G.I. Joe. And we will be getting into that as we move forward here. But to start us off, we will start us off on page... what is the page 5 here with Anzuelo by Emma Rios. It's a gorgeous and brutal story that revolts against the notion of violence as the only response to a life without hope. The sea, secretly more complex than anyone imagined, rises one day. The horizon folds as the sea absorbs the world and transforms everything that's been pulled inside it. 3 kids find themselves unmoored and lost, but brought together by the physical and mental changes wrought by the tides and a desire to avoid harming any living creature. Interesting concept here. No limit to the number of bookplate bundles, by the way, for the hardcover bookplate version of this. Bundled at 10, mind you. But... yeah, this is an interesting launch here by Emma Rios, and very lovely artwork to go along with it on the following pages. Very, quite literally down to earth.
Feels to me like a product of like early 70s hippie culture. It's what would have been called a gentle story back then.
You're probably not too far off the mark there, sir. Well, for something very different, on page 10, Jimmy Palmiotti returns to writing along with Patrick Reynolds for Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger Spawn. Palmiotti getting his take on the Spawn universe here with a very wild west version of Spawn in its history. First appearance of this character was in Spawn 174, and now we get a full possibly miniseries, possibly ongoing. Either way, it's a series premiere, along with Palmiotti and Patrick Reynolds on the writing and art chores. They do seem to insinuate it's an ongoing, so hopefully that's indeed the case.
Yeah, they tend to be a little coy about the duration of series these days. It's not just Image either; it's just kind of industry wide.
Yeah. Very good artwork here. Yeah. My God. Wow.
Palmiotti's love of hardcore westerns really showing through here.
You better believe it. Yep. And I actually really love the design of this Wild West spawn with the giant hat to go along with it.
At least 10 gallons.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, that may be even like 17 or 18 gallons, to be honest with you. Skulls all along the rim. It looks like he has a pet wolves to go along with it too.
Mm-hmm. Very fine art by Patrick Reynolds there.
Oh yeah, and I can hear the howls of Shane somewhere as we get to page 16 here. This was also a recommendation by listeners Mike Atchison and as well as Ryan Drost.
Oh, of course.
Of course. G.I. Joe #1. Bringing the G.I. Joe back fully, and this time in the Energon universe. And this will be a ongoing series separate from Larry Hama's G.I. Joe, which will continue as it has continued. And this gets to be its own thing over in the Energon universe with a brand new take on the Joes. Joshua Williamson on the artwork here. With the writing, along with Tom Riley and Jordi Belair on the artwork. As the biggest comic launch of the decade, they're calling it. Comrade Hauser, codenamed Duke, has assembled a special force known as G.I. Joe, never heard of it, to battle the rising power of the mysterious Cobra in the aftermath of the Autobots and Decepticons' arrival on Earth. It really does change the setup of the Joes significantly when you throw giant robots in there.
Yes. And when the giant robots are like the direct impetus for Joe going public. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
It is indeed. Yep, and you got tons of various covers to choose from on this. David Finch is bringing a cover out there. Jerome Pena, Brett Booth, and Lee Bermejo, to name a few, along with tons of others. They are going whole hog on this, and there's also going to be a this appears to be a kind of like a dossier version of it as well. Man, whew, something else. And oh my God, that artwork! Oh,
yeah, it almost looks like it's supposed to be 3D.
It kind of does, yeah. With the with the rendering on the lines, it makes it look simultaneously 80s and modern, and I really appreciate that. It almost looks like they're kind of like meshing the animated style and the comic book style into one, and making it really work with what's there on the screen, with the pastels as well in the background, and dynamite action here. Oh.
Yeah. I am very happy for Shane and Ryan and Mike and Chris and everybody else who gives a tinker's cuss about G.I. Joe, but me, I'm just sitting back here and waiting patiently for that big Visionaries Knights of the Magical Light rollout.
It'll happen.
Any month now, Ian. Any month now.
It'll happen, Murd. It'll happen. We swear. Eventually, you'll get what's coming to you. And by that, we mean Knights. Well, page 25 has something that may interest you a bit more than that, as Peter Tomasi has a brand new series, Hornsby and Halo. It's good versus evil from the minds of Peter Tomasi and Peter Snyberg, of course, known for Starman and BPRD. That's an excellent pedigree right there, Tomasi and Snyberg on the same project. But it's an interesting premise here. Opposing leaders of Heaven and Hell broker a deal that trades Zachary Halo, an angel child, to a demon family, and Rose Hornsby, a demon child, to an angel family, and hope this truce will halt the winds of war.
Sure, worked out so well for Apocalypse and New Genesis.
Exactly. Wait a minute. Hold on. It's an interesting premise. It's an interesting concept. It's, people going from one side to the other here. This takes place within the Ghost Machine realm of it all as well. Also with the branding of Family Odysseys. So this is steeping itself very well within those bounds, and happy to see anything new from Tomasi, especially something that looks like it's going to be this fun.
Oop, second in here, definitely. And Tomasi's, I loved his work as writer and editor at DC, and I always do like to pay attention to any new projects he's got, although I will say that his other new thing coming out from Image this month looks a little better to me. And we'll get to that in a few pages, I'm assuming.
Fair enough, fair enough. This was another pick out there. I believe Raph had this in his suggestions. Mirka and Dalfo's Sweet Paprika, Open for Business, #1. By Steve Orlando, a favorite of ours, and Emilio Pelio on the artwork chores. On page 27 here, a queer love drama spinoff from the Harvey Award-winning and Eisner Award-nominated Sweet Paprika. This focuses on Aubrey Jean, who's a young employee at Infernum Press, and he tries to impress his hero and boss, Miss Paprika, and figure out his relationship with Persica, a friend with benefits who might want to be more. Can Aubrey deal with Kren and save his relationship with Persica? Does he even want to be with Persica? And how can he even figure out all that out when he's got to be on call day and night dealing with Durian's next insane request? So some love drama here with a little bit of a demon twist. Sweet Paprika, Open for Business, this 5-issue miniseries beginning on page 27. And offered again, Sweet Paprika volumes 1 and 2, if you haven't checked it out, and Unnatural volumes 1 and 3 as well. Boy, oh boy, is that a well-rendered butt on that page. I do say so myself on page 29. Very much a manga style going for this as well. And now for the other Tomasi.
Right, the aforementioned second thing that he's doing for the Ghost Machine / Family Odysseys sub-imprints here at Image. It's called The Rocketfellers, and this time the artwork is being supplied by another one-time DC heavyweight, Francis Manipul, and it's about a family of future people who go into their era's version of the Witness Protection Program, which sends those whose lives are in danger to other time periods via time travel. So they are sent back to the 21st century from the idyllic, their native era of the 25th century. So it's, I guess it's a little bit like Disney's Meet the Robinsons, except... it's also like the Robinsons of Lost in Space, I suppose you could say.
That's
except
true.
that they're hiding out, as it were, in our present time and experiencing, I'm sure, some very amusing culture shock, trying to adapt to life here while waiting for whoever or whatever is pursuing them from their home era back here to our present.
Yep.
I'm sure it's going to be funny and thought-provoking, and it's Tomasi tends to write to that.
Indeed, yep. And this is on page 32 in the Image catalog, and this was a project that I got to check out in the Ghost Machine one-shot that came out a little while ago. It had a kind of a mini story to lead up to it, and glad to see this is finally launched, and I will definitely be checking this out in one form or another. This first issue will be 40 pages, only for the price of $3.99. So that is a damn good price right there to be throwing that out for.
The Rocketfellers have a dog in a spacesuit. Look at that.
Yes, they do. Yep. I also kind of get a little bit of a. I mean, obviously they're aiming for this, because they're kind of like a science family. But I get a little bit of a noble causes vibe off of this, and obviously the Fantastic Four. So we'll. I hope to be reminded of both of those as I'm reading this, with the lovely Francis Manipul artwork to go along with it.
I hope they get along better than the family and noble causes.
You better believe it. Yep. Also, my apologies to anybody listening to this who has to deal with my hoarse voice. You can blame AEW for that last night, gentlemen and ladies, because I very much blew it out screaming at the top of my lungs for some wrestling action, along with Jamal and a bunch of others. So I hope to make it through this episode, and we'll deal with it as is. I'll just be a little smokier than usual.
Yeah, didn't you just know we'd have the best of excuses, folks?
Of course. Boondogs: The Horizon Experiment by Tanan Reeve
I'm going to say Tananarive.
Tananarive is probably closer than Tananarive. So, yeah. Tananarive.
It's from Tananaluski.
It's actually pronounced
Number one in the hood, G.
Yeah, thank you. It's pronounced John. That's what it's pronounced as. But Moondog, The Horizon Experiment. This is a horror icon and multi-award-winning novelist making their way over to comics, along with Kelsey Ramsey, presenting Moondogs, following East African werewolves secretly living in Miami, as this minority within a minority is caught in a burgeoning war that threatens both lycanthrope and human lives. I'm down for that. That is just weird enough to have my interest.
An exclave of East African werewolves in Miami. That's a good high concept.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. And this is available for you on page 34, a couple of preview pages after that, so you can figure out what it's going to look like. Scratchier style, which makes sense because they're werewolves, and digging the look of the werewolves themselves. It's not your typical werewolf. Kind of a little bit more of a human werewolf hybrid going on. And I think
it really makes one think of like a TV show with human actors and makeup.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, definitely the case. And it looks like these werewolves actually still have most of their wits about them when they turn into werewolves, which does make it a little bit different.
Yep, those are the kind of werewolves that I deem acceptable.
Mm-hmm. Also a note that the Sacrificers issue 12 begins a new story arc, so if you had not been on board with that Rick Remender story, it is available for you on page 41. No Light Beyond, part 1 of 4 is the beginning of this new story arc if you want to jump on. Wow. 275 issues of Savage Dragon. That is a freaking achievement right there.
Wow. Looks like they're celebrating with a 100-page super spectacular.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Prisoner of the Reds. Eric Larson still on story and artwork for this. And page 42 has the full information. Here's the 275 issues of one of the longest running titles on the stands.
Although I'm seeing over here that apparently the 100-page super spectacular thing is just a cover gimmick, and it's actually only 32 pages.
Oh,
wait a minute.
Nope.
Okay, conflicting information here, because I'm looking at the listing in like the main body of the catalog. Which is all I have to go. I don't have the image previews in front of me.
Fair
but
enough.
It says that it's 32 pages and $3.99, but the image catalog itself, as shown on screen here, says 100 pages, full color. It also says $9.99.
$9.99 for 100 pages. Yep. Yeah.
Which is not. I don't. If you scroll down a little bit, I don't think that's what it says on the cover image.
$9.99. Yep.
Oh, okay. I beg your pardon. It looked like a 4. Maybe that's just because of confirmation bias, and I was expecting it to be a lower number.
No.
Okay.
Yep.
So there we are. It is indeed 100 pages.
So be it. $10 of content, but again, at least you get 100 pages rather than sometimes where we see 32 pages be $9.99. So, but
If you do the math, that's actually a bargain.
it is. Yep. And I definitely trust the Image catalog over the Diamond catalog when it comes to Image. So let's go by this on page 42 and enjoy your 100-page Savage Dragon 275. New story arc as well here on page 43 for Stoneheart, the Emma Kubert series that she's writing and drawing, member of the Kubert family. And this is a brand new story arc for Stoneheart, and volume 1 of that is available if you want to catch up. So issue 7 begins that story arc on page 43. Oh boy, they've gotten up to issue 100 of The Walking Dead Deluxe. So this is the full color version of The Walking Dead, and issue 100. Yes, stuff happens. If you don't know, then I'm not going to tell you, but you probably already know. But this is a very important issue of The Walking Dead being reprinted here on page 44 in color. So if you've been picking it up this way and you didn't pick it up that way the first time, it'll be well worth your money here to see it in full color action. One of these days, I'll go back to reading what I didn't read of that book because I own digitally every single copy of that off of a Humble bundle I bought a long time ago. Adventure Man, Volume 1, Matt Fraction and the Dodsons. This is the first 5 issues of Adventure Man, and it's Matt Fraction and the Dodsons. What, honestly, else do you need to know outside of that? Oh, right. It looks like it's actually a pretty high-flying action-adventure series and very well-suited to their talents. So, first 5 issues.
Kind of a classic pulp hero archetype and the family that has developed around his heroic legend.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Taking it to the next generation and beyond.
Available for you on page 48 there. Joe Casey's Blood Squad 7 Volume 1, also available for you, everybody, on page 49. Joe Casey, Paul Fry. This collects the 4 issues of that Blood Squad 7 series for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Check that out.
Yep, and it's Casey riffing on the Image Super Team concepts, and again the listing in the main Diamond catalog here varies from what we see on the page here. It says Diamond is claiming that it's only $9.99, but apparently it's $12.99. Says Image.
Very interesting that there's that much variation here. And usually, you know, I mean, a lot of the times Volume 1s are $9.99, but this I wouldn't be surprised if it is actually $12.99, just because it's 152 pages and it kind of tells like a whole story here. So we shall see. Your mileage may vary price-wise. Wow. The Complete Deadbone Erotica Omnibus on page 50. Collecting for the first time in chronological order Underground Comics legend Vaughn Bodie's charmingly risque strips and Bodie Broads from Cavalier magazine. Written and drawn in the 70s, this volume represents a time capsule in erotic humor as only a master of the form could create it. So great to see these things collected for the first time in such a fashion. Don't really see Vaughn Bodie's name bandied about these days, obviously. But I do know that he is one of those underground comics legends that kind of started the genre in a lot of ways of underground comics back in the 70s.
I recognize the name, and I certainly recognize the art style.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Love the art style, actually. It's cartoony and funny and zany, and that's all for you here on page 50 with a little bit of a preview page there on 51. All right, onward we go to Destro Volume 1 on page 53. So if we're waiting on that, Dan Waters' Destro collected all in one here on page 53. And Scarlet on page 55. But you know what? Right before that, Moon Man Volume 1. Kid Cudi and Kyle Higgins. Most importantly, Kyle Higgins. But Kid Cudi's in there too, so hey. Collects the first 5 issues of that Moon Man series that Higgins co-wrote with Kid Cudi himself. Interested in this as well. On page 56, Jerry Duggan is the story and artwork on this one, as he takes you along his journey through comic books in Hollywood. Books contains hundreds of photos over 2 decades in writing rooms, green rooms, and city streets around the world. Each photo tells a story, and collectively the book tells his. Timing Luck is a mashup of dark streets, bright minds, and green rooms, featuring your favorite comic creators, comedians, writers, and filmmakers.
It's like an autobiographical photo essay. That's definitely something different.
Yeah, definitely. And Duggan is very much known for his Hollywood stuff as much as he's known for his comic book stuff, and this very much bridges both worlds. Page 56 for that one, Timing/Luck by Jerry Duggan. And a brand spanking new edition of Invincible available for everybody on page 58. This is volume 6, which collects Invincible 30 through 34 and The Pact number 4 for good measure. A new volume of Philadelphia available as well on page 59 for anybody who's been following that series. Local Man Lost Ones, Volume 3. Collects issues 10 through 13, number 25, and Local Man Bad Girls One Shot. That is a jump right there. 10 through 13, 25, and Local Man Bad Girls. So I guess everything in between is going to be something else.
Yeah, are they up that high in the numbering? Has Local Man really been running for that long? Or did they go forward in time for some reason?
Maybe they did. I don't know, because let me see here. If I put in Local Man number 24 into Google, let's see if anything comes out. And no, it doesn't. So you're right. I think they may have actually just jumped forward, and we're gonna have to figure out why it did. Okay, that makes more sense. Okie dokie. Because up until now there's only been 2 trades. So, in fact, looking at the full list on their website, yes, it goes straight from 13 to 25. So, go figure.
Kind of non-linear gimmick happening there.
Yep. In fact, just as the Image Comics line did back in 1995, Local Man jumps ahead a full year to give you a glimpse of what the future brings from issue 13 to 25. So they're very much doing the exact same, Image gimmick from back in the 90s, and they'll fill in the gaps and go back to issue 14 after that. All right. Well, job well done on making it feel 100% like an Image book.
That is some attention to period detail, I must say.
Absolutely. Page 61 for that one. Monstrous, Volume 9. Marjorie Liu's book all the way up to issue 54 now, as this collects issues 49 through 54, page 63. And Kyle Higgins and Brian Bucoletto's No One, Volume 1, soon to be a major motion picture. Collected for everybody. It's part of the Massive Verse on page 64. Transformers Volume 2 on page 67. Collects Transformers 7 through 12 here. Daniel Warren Johnson on Story Alone for this arc, along with Jorge Corona and Mike Spicer covering the artwork chores. And we're into individual issues. We will point out that Cal 1964, the sequel to the original Cal, fully set in the Massiverse. This is the 4th and final issue of that miniseries, available by Kyle Higgins on page 71.
Makes me very happy that series is back.
Yes, indeed. And John Arcudi's Convert gets its 4th and final issue as well on page 72. Zdarsky's The Domain gets the conclusion of its miniseries, which means I am going to check this out in trade because it's a Chip Zdarsky book and I want to check it out. But this is with enemies on all sides. Can the trio of Domain heroes with the alien Wee Lon's help save their planet from an invasion? Well, you'll find out in this 5th and final issue here on page 75. Issue 8 of Feral by Tony Fleeks on page 78. Cats, 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 cats.
Free Agents number 5 by Busiek Nicieza and Mooney Farrell. Just keep reminding people that Busiek and Nicieza have a book out there.
Mm-hmm. Very good thing to remind folks of on page 79, as that we're approaching trade territory here with issue 5, so probably one more and we'll get the trade. And issue 311, as Chris Mooneyham returns to the book to have the artwork chores along with Larry Hama for the continuing G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero on page 80. Remender and Brian Posehn's Grommets, issue 6 of 7, page 82. And issue 2 of Hyde Street by Jeff Johns with Yvonne Hayes, Danny Mickley, and Brad Anderson with a very cool C cover here. I really like the cover there by Jermaine Peralta to go along with it. Johns and Yvonne Hayes teaming together for the first time in many years. Hyde Street number 2, page 85. And it appears we have a Suhu. I hope you are properly fed.
I had a string cheese, if that's what you mean.
That's good. That's good enough. That's good enough.
I'm a 15-year-old all over again. I think this is what the kids call girl dinner.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
I've already informed
there we are.
listeners that if I sound like I'm a little bit more hoarse tonight, they can blame it on Brian Danielson. So. Hey, thank you for getting that out of your system. I appreciate it.
Listen, we're leaving together, okay?
Oh God. Yes, it is indeed the final countdown. We're on the single issues of Image. We pointed out a bunch of stuff already. So if you can start back with your main picks once we actually get to the main book. Most of it's already been said.
So for Image, so far, if it's alphabetical, I had G.I. Joe number 1.
We did that.
I did Mirka and Dolof's
We did
Sweet
that.
Paprika, okay. And Moondogs number 1.
Moondogs. Did we mention Moondogs? I believe we did.
East
Yes.
African werewolves. Yes, we did.
Yes, that sounds so cool. The next one's coming up soon.
Cool. Precious Metal 6 of 6 mid-series finale, mini-series finale. That is Darcy Van Poelgeest on page 96, finishing that out, and Public Domain issue 10 here on page 97. We've made it to Christmas 1989. So we're going back in time to tell some stories that have not been told. And page 97, Public Domain number 10. Looking forward.
That's the power of love.
Yes, it is. All right.
Well, you need
Saga,
one
if you
song, I named another.
Saga.
Oh.
Well done, Murd. Well done. Saga 71. I love the one. I'm really loving these one sentence solicits for Saga. Who dis? It's Vaughn.
It's
It's
a random string of characters in there. I mean, it's the brand sells itself at this point.
yeah. Next time they're just going to type on the keyboard frantically, and that's going to be the thing. It'll just say
Special issue 72 with guest writer Tim Allen.
no, none of that. None of that.
Never. No, thank you.
Spawn
No, thank you, Tim.
Oh
No,
God.
thank you.
Page 105 here. Spawn kills every Spawn by John Layman and Rob Duenas. I somehow missed mentioning this as it was coming out, but this is the 5th and final issue, and apparently Spawn kills every Spawn. So good times.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think I don't know why it didn't show up yet, but Rocket Fellers number 1.
We did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all the ongoing issues at this point. All the number 1s are at the top, and then it winds up, showing.
Oh, I'm a dummy. Okay.
Yeah. So we did Rockefellers, and basically everything that was on your list for Image, we pretty much covered. So
Okay, cool. Then I'll wait for whatever else is next.
cool.
I don't have a lot this month.
Yeah. Well, Transformers number 14 ends that story arc, so we're near the conclusion of another trade of Transformers, essentially. The fate of Starscream revealed. If I had a voice, I would pretend to be Starscream, but I don't.
This is all your fault, Megatron!
Ooh, nicely done,
Murd with the clutch save.
Stepping
Absolutely.
in here with my bucket of ammo, as Chris would say, because
Hell yeah.
I was sitting in an empty Christmas shop for most of the day, not saying anything. So my voice is peak performance levels.
Oh my
It
God.
was quiet today at the store, so I didn't get to speak much. So I think I'm a little more recovered.
To add to my day, I after being at the AEW show, I remained up because I had a UK event to cover for my job. So I just stayed up until 5 a.m. and then slept for about 6 hours after that and got up at about 11. So that's been my day. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
But nevertheless, Transformers number 14, page 108 concludes that story arc. Ultraman by James Harron. It's issue 7 on that one.
Ultra Mega.
Ultra Mega. Thank you very much. Ultraman, something very, very different.
Mm-hmm. And it's coming
And
up
not
later.
James Harden, the basketball star, but James Harden.
Harron.
An important distinction.
Mm-hmm. And Void Rivals, issue 14, page 113. Kirkman continuing along with that. And that,
Witchblade.
yeah, Witchblade, number 5. Marguerite Bennett continuing her new and unique take on the Witchblade character with Giuseppe Cafaro along with the ride. And that concludes the Image catalog with a look at Witchblade. We are definitely going to be talking about Scrooge when we get further along here for the main Diamond catalog. But first, we begin with Boom, as we tend to do. And that... Oh, you know what, actually? Okay, yeah, this is the... No, they're just talking about themselves. How about that? I was like, hey, what is this? Like, oh, it's advertised
by our products.
Use inside of previews. That's something.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
No, you don't have to. Page 34 starts us off. Abria Iyengar.
Abria Iyengar.
Abria Iyengar.
She's a critical. She's a TTRPG personality, I would suppose. She's a DM.
Is she the DM of Critical Role?
No, she has DM Critical Role. She did the side series that a bunch of them played in that kind of led to campaign 3.
Got it.
What is EXU, Exandria Unlimited, that's what it's called.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, this is a 5-issue miniseries written by said individual. And artwork by Marie Costa of Life of Melody, as it takes readers and fans and gotta make this bigger because once again, Boom's font sucks. As we're go ahead on a once fearless high school student, Jeannie wasn't prepared for the aimless feelings of being a college freshman. That's all about the change. Mirror Myths takes on new life in the modern age, as countless people claim to have passed into the fade in their dreams, being a viral internet sensation. But what awaits Jeannie Warner and her best friend Arno on the other side? Royal adventures, ancient prophecies, or something more dangerous?
A suit of armor from the year 2020.
Yes. Or maybe they'll do it Nick Cage style. Maybe it'll be that type of dream, where he'll just show up and watch as other dreams happen. Who knows? Either way.
Oh, the dreams! They're in my eyes! Not the dreams!
That's not how that works. That's definitely not how that works.
That's fine.
The Fade 105 on page 34 if you are interested. Loving the designs of the characters on the following pages. This looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And meanwhile, Melissa Flores brings us Power Rangers Prime, number 1. I get to say that a little cooler because of the hoarse voice. Prime. Relaunched and reborn into an all-new ongoing series for the first time ever, Power Rangers is back and better than ever. Prepare yourself for Prime, a bold new era featuring a brand new cast of characters, excitement, and attitude. In the vein of Marvel's The Ultimates, get ready to experience a new team, a new mentor, and a threat to Earth unlike anything you've seen before. So, from that solicit, it's Ultimate Power Rangers, and I'm down. This actually sounds really cool.
That doesn't include the unfortunate Scarlet Witch Quicksilver relationship, does it?
No, it does not. No.
Okay.
No. Also, Darkseid's not a part of this either. That's Absolute, not Prime. So that's a whole other situation. But digging the character designs, really liking the artwork that they preview here, and as a fan of Power Rangers, this might be a good thing for me to check out to see if it's enough to get me interested in this ultimate take on the Power Rangers, essentially. So do check that out. Ranger Academy concluding, issue 12 of 12 on page 43, and they will be collecting that final story arc in the same volume 3 on that same page 43. And James Tynion IV brings us Wind with a Y, the Power of the Blood, 1 of 8, another one in the Wind saga on page 44. And this looks interesting. The Woods Archive edition, 10-year anniversary of the milestone comic book event that kicked off James Tynion IV and Michael. Man, I'm sucking with names tonight. Dialanis, I'll say. Partnership with Boom Studios. Begin the journey again to discover for the very first time the complete first issue of the series. Originally released on October 16th, 2013. And now they are re-releasing it for those of you who may have missed it the first time around. I certainly did. So I'll be interested to see just how much James Tynion IV has evolved over the years and whether or not this still has a similar style to it. Page 48. All right. Zach Thompson's Blown Away gets a soft cover, collects the first 5 issues of that series on page 56. And I think that's gonna probably do it. Oh, here we go. Cyanide and Happiness, a guide to parenting by 3 guys with no kids. 20th anniversary. I love Cyanide and this is just an excellent name for a collection.
We're 3 guys with no kids. Let's tell our listeners how to parent, especially Brent.
Well, you see, okay, here's the first step. And Brent, I hope you're listening. Okay, number 1. Let them do whatever they want. Like walk all over. Like like whatever they want. Just say yes and embrace. And I'm sure it's going to work out great. You're welcome. Everybody send me money to tell them more stuff about how to
become the rug.
Yes, exactly.
You are a rug.
That'll be their next collection. Cyanide and Happiness. Become the rug. You are the rug.
I hope so.
Yeah, but
I won't even take any money for it. I'm just glad they used it.
Oh my God, 20 years of Cyanide and Happiness. Good for them. And this celebrates that and collects a bunch of their comics. Available on page 63. Garfield issue 4 of 4 concludes the Garfield miniseries that had been going on page 65. Lasagna and all, and that concludes Boom. And now, go ahead, Raph. Go ahead.
Dynamite.
Yes, but also DuckTales.
Oh, did you also want? I mean, listen. Sorry, my head is right. Working at a video game store, retail, life is like a hurricane there. Okay, it's like being deep in Duckburg.
Yes.
Race cars, lasers, airplanes. It's
airplanes too.
A duck blur. Yeah, but I might solve a mystery, or rewrite history.
To this day, we of our generation continue to wonder what the hell is a duck blur.
It's a blur of ducks.
Apparently, because man,
I mean, every day. Listen, wait. Can we just be serious for a second? We need to take a moment here, and just remind everyone out there listening to this or watching this that every day these 4 ducks, Uncle Scrooge, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, are out there. They're out there making duck tails, not ponytails or dolphin tails. No, duck tails, and we appreciate their sacrifice.
I really thought that for a minute you were going on an actual real tangent, and then that
was real.
That it was just the song, and I'm
back to quoting.
We need to appreciate DuckTales more because every day they're out there making DuckTales.
All right.
Tales of Daring Do and Good Luck Tales.
Oh man, I am glad that this is back in any form, and this looks like it's going to be set essentially in the same universe as the original, and
if it sells well enough, they'll probably do one for the more recent reboot as well.
Oh, I'm sure, and by the way, that most recent reboot was fantastic. It was Very different, but more modern, and it told a ongoing storyline that was very unique and different, and great voice acting all around. Actually, really liked their unique take on Darkwing Duck, and Lin-Manuel Miranda was freaking Gizmo Duck on that show. Like it was a really, really great reboot. One of my favorites, and this though has a special place in my heart. And Brandon Montclair will be starting us off with the first issue of DuckTales as we get back into that original world on page 71. Ridiculously wealthy Scrooge McDuck is the most famous resident of Duckburg, but his fortune goes far beyond mere currency. To his young nephews, Unca Scrooge is rich in something even more important than money: stories. Whether it's the saga of how he dug his first million out of the Klondike, or the many times he saved his lucky number one dime from the clutches of Magica Dispel, the feisty tycoon is a font of mesmerizing tales, and Huey, Dewey, and Louie can't get enough. But even as they pester their uncle to share more yarns of his legendary quests and globe-trotting treasure hunts, the three boys are about to learn that the most valuable item Scrooge owns isn't locked up in his absurdly capacious money bin. It's the lifetime of wisdom he's got stockpiled inside that little noggin of his. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad, man. This looks great. The artwork is perfect by Tommaso Ronda. Like, oh my God, it's so much like the show, but also has enough uniqueness to it. Which again, we talked about with these Dynamite things before. We want something that reminds us of the old and also gives us a little bit tweak of new. And I feel like that's what we're definitely getting from the artwork here.
Yep, this Tommaso Ronda has definitely read some Karl Barks in his time.
You better believe it. Yep. So, welcome back, DuckTales. And I'm very happy to have you. Another thing we're happy to have, The Green Hornet, Miss Fury, #1, by Alex Segura and Federico Ceresa. It's a crossover. Trouble is their business, and business is booming. As Miss Fury and Green Hornet, the two vigilantes have very different styles of crime fighting, and they're totally not Batman and Catwoman. But I think this is going to be a nice romp here on page 77 as these two gather together for a nice collaboration.
Creators are bringing something of a 60s vibe to it, from what I understand. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
not full-on Batman 66 camp, even though that show did cross over with a live-action Green Hornet one time. But just something a little more in line with the real world of that period, I think.
A little more noir feeling, it looks like, the art at least.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the reason I even called out the Catwoman thing is Miss Fury definitely looks like they're evoking the Darwin Cook costume of Catwoman to a point, but that's also the most noir of Catwoman's looks. And I feel like this is gonna take the best elements of that and then create its own thing. And I like this take on Green Hornet's outfit as well. I mean, it is just a dude in a coat, essentially, with a mask, which is not quite what we normally get from Green Hornet, and adds to the noir element that Raph pointed out significantly, and changes the character to suit the story. So, yeah. Once again, this was on page 77, and The Green Hornet, Miss Fury #1 by Alex Segura and Federico Ceresa. These are those names I didn't screw up. Terminator #2, page 81.
I'm going to get it. Yes. You have to get it. Come on. You've got to do it.
Thank you.
Purchase it now.
Thank you. Yeah.
Buy this book if you want to live.
Oh, man. Look at some of these character designs here by Luke Sparrow for some of the characters showing up in this thing. Just straight.
Look at it.
Straight out of the Terminator movies, essentially, especially this specific Terminator here on page 83. Nice.
You want to get? Come on, you got to do it.
You do. Lilo and Stitch gets its 8th issue on page 91. Really like this cover D here, blending into the blue. Love me some Lilo and Stitch. And Disney Villains Cruella de Vil Collections gives us the trade paperback and the hardcover edition of this Cruella de Vil story on page 93. Trade paperback and hardcover sized at 6 by 9 inches. So these are, essentially manga sized. And the
5 by 8?
Yeah, I mean thereabouts. Yeah,
okay.
A little bit bigger. So yeah, but
okay.
These smaller tomes have been kind of slightly becoming more industry norm for all ages, or at least ones that they want people to be able to buy and hold. And I think this is a good way for Disney to be going with this under Dynamite for the Cruella de Vil book, and both collections.
I got a book like that.
Yeah,
I'll talk about it when it comes up later in previews.
Nice. Do check that out on page 93. And Ground Control to Major Mojo. Powerpuff Girls number 5 on page 95. This is the comic book you will read. Yes, it is a very good comic book. The best comic book. The only comic book worth reading in the entire book. This is what I say. This is what I know. I know this very much. Yes, I do. Page 95.
Wow, you just put me in a time machine back to like 2002.
Oh man, Mojo Jojo is one of my favorite characters to this very day, and
he's really good.
Oh yeah, my favorite cover is the cover C here, because whenever Mojo is lost and alone, he's at his best because he's just talking to himself, and there he is stranded on the moon. Beautiful. All Dr. Manhattan style. It is happening again.
The watch is in my hand. My hand is what is holding the watch. It is before my face here on the moon by myself.
Can we just scroll back up? I just gotta express my disgust at something, and I hate to do it, but
yes. Please, by all means. Is it this?
No, keep going. I thought I saw something that really. Oh, never mind. It's all cardstock covers. I thought it said AI cardstock covers, and I was just like, what?
Oh, yeah.
What? No, please don't do that.
No.
The whole cardstock part is bad enough.
Yeah, I mean that I begrudgingly accept, but
if there's
pay people.
If there's one thing Dynamite likes, it's its cardstock covers. Okay, that's something that they've had for years, and they're going to keep having it.
98% of my DC purchases are cardstock covers, to be fair. So
we mentioned right before you got here, Raph, that we found out via solicitation that Local Man pulled the Image Comics trick from the 90s, that it went straight from issue 13 to issue 25.
Wait, it did?
Yeah.
I love that so much.
It's doing the 1 year in the future, and then they'll wind up filling in the gaps with issue 14 after that.
That's nice. I like that.
That's a gimmick that I approve of more than I approve of cardstock covers. So,
well, I approve of foil cardstock covers because that's also a 90s gimmick that I eat up like a piece of candy.
But not the covers that you thought had trading cards, and then you peel off to only find out no, it was just a piece of paper. Every kid did that at least once. Okay, every kid did that at least once. Fatal Attractions. I'm looking at you.
That was the one.
Yep. Meanwhile, Space Ghost Volume 1 is now available on page 102. So David Paposi and Jonathan Wow, this has been getting some excellent praise, and brings the character of Space Ghost very much to the forefront, and not in coast-to-coast fashion, in old-school Space Ghost action, and that is available for everybody on page 102.
Yeah, they're on page 104, 105. We've got Thundercats number 10, which is a standalone villain spotlight issue, which I'm usually down for. From a creative team of Declan Shalvey and Joe Mulvey. It's focusing on the mutants and their leader, Slithe. They're spelling it with just one S here, but I'm sure I remember the toy package back in the 80s having at least 3. So I'm pronouncing it Slithe.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm all for the Slithe pronunciation as well. A whole bunch of Slithe covers to go along with that. In issue 5 of Thundercats Chitara, all cardstock covers, page 109. All right, that finishes up Dynamite, and we'll go through Titan real quick. And probably just wind up talking about Conan, since that's what they tend to have the most of. A new arc begins of Conan the Barbarian, number 17, by Mr. Zub of the Jim variety, along with Danica Brime. And this, brand new story arc here of Conan the Barbarian. So if you want to get in on the ground floor of a new arc, this will be for you on page 122. And issue 3 of Conan the Barbarian, Battle of the Black Stone by Jim Zub, available on page 124. And they even have a Conan the Barbarian novel available by James Lovegrove, Conan the Barbarian, Cult of the Obsidian Moon, available on page 125. So some Conan the Barbarian prose.
This story also will be told.
Yes, King Conan, the original comics omnibus volume 2. Alan Zelenitz and Don Krar with artwork by the one and only Mark Silvestri. Wow. Collecting Conan the Barbarian 20 through 35. Previously King Conan from 1980.
Not to mention one of the most iconic comic artists, Mike Manley, co-creator of such characters as Azrael and Darkhawk.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
More excited about his art being in this than I am about the aforementioned Mr. Silvestri's, actually.
There you go. There you go. Page 126. And rather than put Conan in the bubble, they just straight up removed the Marvel entirely. You gotta love that. Just through the power of Photoshop, it's just a yellow square. That's it.
There was nothing ever above Conan.
Yep, that's it. Blade Runner Tokyo Nexus gets the trade paperback collection. Collects issues 1 through 4 of that. Kiana Shore on the writing shores for this on page 130. So if you want more stories in the Blade Runner universe, this is a good way to get them. And Peanuts for Everybody, the latest edition in Titan Comics' hugely popular Peanuts facsimile series by Charles Schultz on page 133. The Art of Making of Spellbound is available for everybody as well on page 136. Sometimes clearing the throat is necessary. So the behind the scenes of the Spellbound movie that Netflix has put out is available to all there on page 136. And I'll mention a manga real quick. Welcome to Ghost Mansion Volume 1. Join Kaori as she becomes a landlord to some very unusual tenants. Guess what? They're ghosts.
What?
I know. Yeah.
Didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
Nope.
Somehow, a place called Ghost Mansion has ghosts.
And somehow, Palpatine has returned.
Yes, that too. But available on page 138. Get a little bit of manga before the manga section, as Titan likes to put them in both places. And so that's some very spooky artwork to accompany that on 139 as well. And I think
Kamen Rider?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
Doctor Who stuff?
It's Doctor Who stuff as well. I am going to get us past Image here and their incorrect solicitations. Yes, you heard that. And I will place us right after that for when we get done with the DC. And DC has tons of stuff I want to talk about this month.
My goodness. Yes.
I mean, this is the obvious one.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Page 2. Justice League Unlimited #1. Written and drawn by the one and only team of Mark Waid and Dan Mora. The Watchtower Rises. And I cannot wait for this.
I think I got the foil variant.
Nice.
I'm so easy. No, I got the Howard Porter variant because it's a tribute to his own JLA #1 cover.
Ah, nice. Yes.
With Morrison.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very cool.
Same thing and everything.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, it not only looks like a cool team, because, you know, you got Flash, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Star Sapphire, Black Lightning, and Captain Atom. And the Atom along for the ride. Double Atom.
Potentially the entire freaking DC universe thrown in for good measure.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. They are very much going with the Justice League Unlimited model here. And I appreciate that it'll be whoever they need for that specific story. Everyone is at the availability.
I'm just gonna blast the Justice League Unlimited theme every time I read this book.
Oh, you're gonna have to
relentlessly. Yeah, there's just no way.
Yeah. Oh my God! Wow, look at that variant cover. Whew. Man,
it's a 1 in 50. Good luck getting that.
Oh, I know.
Or anything below like $25-$30, maybe even more.
The designs of the Watchtower are perfect. Like, it kind of has a combo vibe of the Watchtower and the satellite. And I really dig that. They're going entirely like specific with like actual full designs of like the interiors and all this. There's going to be a separate area for the Justice Society inside of this, as well as the Justice Society are also coming back. Spoilers, we'll be talking about them in a few minutes. But, yeah, this is a must read, and I can't wait to talk about it on the show. We're gonna have to devote probably some actual like reviews to this. It's gonna be great stuff. And Absolute Batman gets its second issue on page 4, as Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta bring us a large bat icon and also a Batman to go along with it.
It's only going to get bigger.
That's what Scott Snyder has said, that if the haters keep hating, it's just going to get bigger. So just let it be. Okay. I know from experience of a certain someone that I will not name that apparently Absolute Batman #1 is amazing, and I believe that person. So we will be reading that soon enough, and I cannot wait to do so. And now,
this is what I'm looking forward to.
Page 5, Mr. Suhu, the floor is yours.
That's the Absolute Superman, written by Jason Aaron, art and cover by me, Sandoval, and variant covers by Wes Craig, Jim Lee, and Clayton Crane. I believe I got either the Jim Lee or maybe the Wes Craig. I don't remember. I think it was the foil one. Anyway, without the fortress, without the family, without a home, what's left is the absolute Man of Steel.
Yeah.
With pouches and guns and claws.
No pouches.
No, none of that. None of that, actually. I'm just...
Not even sleeves from the looks of it.
Nope. It looks like it's t-shirtish and messy hair.
He does have some kind of gauntlet things there, though. So maybe those are extensions of sleeves. I don't know.
And there is texture on whatever top he's wearing, so it may be some sort of slight armor, or maybe it's an alien t-shirt. I don't know, but yeah, this is very much not your daddy's Man of Steel, or your Raph's Man of Steel for that matter.
No,
but
not mine. Mine's blue.
Yeah, I am very, very interested to see what Jason Aaron is going to throw out there. I trust
you.
Yeah, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. And Absolute Wonder Woman #2 also here on page 6. Tom Taylor's Detective Comics 1091 has me interested on page 7. When we last left Bruce Wayne, he was offered a mysterious youth serum known only as Sangral that promises to rejuvenate his body and mind, making him as strong and nimble as he once was. But can he possibly accept this strange gift? This reminds me very, very much of that episode of Batman Beyond where Bruce is offered a dip in the Lazarus pits in order to essentially relive his youth and be Batman again. And I don't know if that's where they're drawing the inspiration for this, but that was a great story, and we're kind of getting a little bit of that here in Detective Comics 1091, so should be very interesting on page 7.
I mean, he is vengeance. He is the knight.
And now he's on the Walk of Fame.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Batman himself, the real Batman, had a speech at the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and now he's got a star. So can't believe they got the real Batman to do it.
What an amazing get.
Yeah. Batman Uncovered, number 1. Your favorite Batman covers, all in one place. This issue, that's the one place, just so that you're aware, on page 9.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. What do you think?
Here we go.
Doomsday from Hell and Superman number 20.
I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
They already teased it at the end. They teased it actually a while ago, and I just got to it in my reading. At the very end of the Superman Brainiac story, right before Absolute Power. I forget which cover, right? I think I got the Crop Circle cover. If not, I got the Superwoman cover.
Nice. Well, that Dan Mora guy is everywhere, and he's drawing Superman this month. So
yes. He's gonna slow down for his own. No, I think I got the crypto cover because I do love a dog cover.
Mm-hmm. You and me both, Raph.
Nice. I like the Crop Circles cover, the Somni variant. That's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I make minimum wage. I'm not buying more than one cover of Superman. Those days are behind me.
That's perfectly fair, and you should not. You should one cover, only one cover, and stick with it.
Listen, I really wanted to get another version of another poly bag Death of Superman. I just couldn't float it.
Oh, God. Page 10 for that. And now, speaking of Superman, the weekly Superman that Mark Waid and Mariko Tamaki are working on continues in Action Comics 1074, 75, 76, and 77.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Mark Waid, another person who's all over the map this month. Mm-hmm. And it looks like it's a Phantom Zone focused story, and it's also a Back in Time to Krypton story.
Yep, very 60s.
Mark Waid drawing on an idea that I believe came from the mind of the late Steve Gerber, because the main antagonist here is a Phantom Zone mystic being named Ether. And I think Gerber's idea back in the early 80s was that the whole Phantom Zone was Ether's imagination. Like that's how vast and nebulous a being this Ether was. That this whole dimension that Jor-El discovered was just a part of this thing's mind. And when it discovered that it had little Kryptonian guys screwing around in his imagination, he wasn't happy. And there were consequences then, but now Mark Waid has brought those consequences to a whole new, broader, contemporary scale. Interesting.
Yeah, well, he'll get 4 issues this month to tackle it, and artwork by Clayton Henry, Michael Shelfer, and Skylar Partridge throughout, with some John Bogdanov thrown in there for good measure.
Bogdanov.
Yep, and Megan Hetrick having a little bit of artwork in there as well. Really like the cover for 1077 here. As we're getting some trapped in the Phantom Zone vibes, definitely. So page 12 and 13 covers those 4 issues.
I think I got the Hetrick variant, actually.
Nice. All right. Nightwing 120, Dan Waters on his new arc of Nightwing as we move on from the Taylor era. Dexter Soy on the artwork choice for this as well, with With deadly experimental weapons in the hands of the city's oh-so-corrupt police force, Nightwing must prevent a bloody war breaking out with the gangs of Bloodhaven. Of course it's a bloody war, it's Bloodhaven, which would be easier if someone didn't keep trying to blow him up. In general, life is easier when somebody's not trying to blow you up, but, just saying.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Been there, done that way too many times, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Page 14 for that. Titans number 17, John Layman, taking over the writing chores of Titans, along with artwork by Pete Woods. Love some Pete Woods artwork. Been a while since I've seen him on interiors. Usually it's just covers for Pete Woods these days, but he gets to tell this story here. It's a new day in the DCU and the future is bright. Why then are the Titans looking backward, reliving their most horrific and traumatic moments again and again, stuck in an endless loop? Oh, sorry. And who's the temporal tyrant behind this time-bending torment? Here's a hint. Time will tell. I see.
The time teller.
Yeah.
It's the time teller. The time trapper's annoying nephew.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping it's not the Clock King, but it's probably going to be the Clock King.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
But again, only time will let us know one way or the other on that one. Mm-hmm. Very timely of them. Birds of Prey number 15.
No, that's the other company.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah. Birds of Prey number 15 by Kelly Thompson. The team uncovers the Ninth Day cult's deadly secrets in this issue. Page 16. As Oracle getting to work old school in front of a bunch of computers. That's what I like to see. This one's going to have Black Canary, Big Barda, Grace Choi, and Onyx on the mission as well, along with Cassandra Cain.
I'd be the one that Ryan Gonzalez cover.
Oh, yeah.
It's too expensive. It's a variant. It's one of those expensive variants.
And somewhere, Donovan Morgan Grant just went, with this one.
Yeah.
Batgirl number 1, page 17.
That was on my list.
Yep.
Let's see. So, I mean, I've been a Batgirl fan since her debut. Oh, not her debut, because she debuted in Cataclysm, and I just started reading towards the tail end of Cataclysm. So so let's say, what is that, like 98?
Yeah, thereabouts.
She's like, yeah. So that's when I became a fan of her, and I pretty much have every issue of her ongoing series except for the first few, because again, I didn't jump in at the very beginning. But yeah, she is my favorite Bat Family character, as is Donovan's. So. Yep. Hold on to your seats, clutch your pearls, and rejoice in celebration, because Cassandra Cain is taking center stage in her first solo Batgirl series in nearly 2 decades. When a deadly group of assassins shows up to kill Cassandra, Lady Shiva comes to the rescue, and they must put their complicated past aside and work together as mother and daughter to ensure they make it out alive. Unfortunately, things are never as they seem, and Cass must embark on a jaw-dropping martial arts field adventure in a quest for truth and justice and revenge. It's a Batgirl book like never before, so join us as we dive into the psyche of one of Gotham's deadliest writers while exploring her deep and complex relationship with her mother. Which, the fact that her mother is the deadliest person in the world is always one of my favorite things.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. And Tate Bromble on the writing chores, Takeshi Miyazawa on the artwork chores. This is going to be a must read. Definitely. I want to see what they're going to do with this. Absolutely. So
I bought the Archer.
Nice. Page 17. Murd, do you have interest in said Cassandra Cain?
Honestly, no.
Hashtag not your Batgirl.
I mean, we all have our favorite characters and favorite versions of characters.
I remember that Cassandra Cain series of decades ago, and I remember not buying it then. So I don't think I'm going to change my pattern now.
Fair enough.
Can't buy everything.
Yep. I'm sure you are buying, however, what's on the very next page, the 6th and final issue of Batman Dark Age. Yep.
That I will.
Indeed.
Been buying it all along.
Yep.
I missed it. I gotta whiffed it.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be reading it digitally, and Mark Russell, Mike Allred concluding this 6-issue mini here. Should be great.
This series lured Pants back into the comic shop.
Yep. There you go.
This series knocked him out.
Well, page 18 also has the Civil Core raging on. Still the best pun. Civil Core. So good. Mwah. Top tier punnage right there. Maximum clonage level punnage right there. So good. Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart mount a defense against the United Planets and the newly transformed Lord Premier Tharos, all while Star Sapphire faces an unlikely creature from her past. Jeremy Adams and Zermanico continuing their ongoing Green Lantern run on page 18. And a new era for Green Arrow begins as Chris Condon takes over the writing chores, artwork by Montos. Green Arrow number 18 as Ollie heads back to Star City for his next adventure with a brand new team. Cold-blooded murder of a Star City businessman announces the arrival of a horrifying and mysterious serial killer. When details of the victim's dark business dealings emerge, Green Arrow must contend with hard truths from the city's past and race to stop the murderer before they strike again. Welcome back to Star City, Oliver Queen. And on that same page, I absolutely love the pinball cover for Flash number 15.
As do I.
Yep. That is
by Mike Del Mundo.
That is
stuff. I want a Justice League pinball machine now with the Flash as the ball.
Oh, Raph, when I was in Milwaukee, I came across I think I may have sent you the picture of it. If not, I only sent David. I found the Royal Rumble pinball game for the first time. Didn't get a chance to play it, but it's if I ever see it again, I'll give it a go. Maybe it's at the Pinball Museum in Asbury Park.
That's a very strong possibility.
Love that pinball museum because you can literally pay by the hour and pay as many pinball machines as you want.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Looks like a good issue of Batman the Brave and the Bold there at the bottom of 21. Mm-hmm. We've got a Wonder Woman and Plastic Man team up. We've got a Mr. Zsasz solo story. And Batman teaming up with, quote, an unlikely ally for a supernatural trip through some of Gotham's darkest shadows. Some wild and woolly team-ups, and that's what the Brave and the Bold always should be about.
Absolutely the case. Yep. Issue 19 of said Batman Brave and the Bold, available on page 21. And on top of that, by the way, I don't want to forget to mention this, as Eclipso brings the Justice League to a boiling point in Batman Superman World's Finest, issue 33, by said Mark Waid, who's everywhere, and Adrian Gutierrez.
I got the McFarlane Toys variant, but I kind of feel like I should have gotten the Gutierrez one.
Yeah, the Gutierrez one is really nice. There's also a Marguerite Savage 1 in 25 variant for that.
Yeah, I'm not made of money.
I know. Nobody is. Variant covers are a terrible game, and I actually really don't like it. But that's how the comic book industry makes money. Okay, moving on.
Yeah. That's how they rope me in.
They make it off of us suckers. Batman The Long Halloween, the last Halloween, issue 3. Jeff Loeb is joined this time by Mark Chiarello on the artwork chores for this 3rd issue of the story being told. And as the noose tightens around Gotham City, Robin seeks aid from an unlikely ally, and Batman confronts a deadly specter from the past. Let's see who that is. And Batman 89 Echoes, issue 6, on page 22. All we have to go for a cover is the Quinones variant, which is just the bat symbol, but it is a very pretty bat symbol nonetheless. Harley Quinn makes her ACN television debut by taking station management hostage. So Batman 89 Harley Quinn getting action in this issue 6.
Yep. Well, Joe Quinones does have a habit of falling behind deadline with these Batman 89 things he's doing, but you can feel the love in every line he puts on the page. So I'd say it's worth.
I always end up with the hardcovers myself, so I'll get that in hardcover.
Yep. Speaking of feeling the love, I am feeling the love for this right here. Black Lightning #1. Brandon Thomas, FICO Osseo, and feeling the love because it's the full Black Lightning family together here in this Black Lightning #1 on page 23. Jefferson Pierce leads the Justice League's new metahuman outreach initiative, helping those with powers before they can cause harm to themselves or others. But everything changes when his own daughter, Anissa Pierce, comes to him for help. With Thunder's dangerous new powers and the new Master of Disaster jeopardizing the coexistence between humans and metas, Black Lightning is on the front lines of a culture war brewing in the suburbs of Metropolis. Interesting premise. I dig the entire Black Lightning family at this point, and I'm happy to see Jefferson and family get an ongoing again. So this should be good stuff on page 23. That Sanford Green variant is absolutely delightful as well.
I'll flip through to Midtown or something.
Nice. Now, for the important...
That's my other pick.
Oh, yeah. Page 24. This is everybody's pick, quite frankly.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Lemire, JSA #1. Finally, the Jeff Johns era is over. Someone else gets to play with the JSA. And I think Jeff Lemire is the right man for the job, quite frankly. We'll find out soon enough, but I think he's going to do a damn good job.
Well, I like that we're getting kind of an Infinity Inc. sub-squad back again here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Seems JSA being divided internally along generation lines.
Yep.
And just as a new Injustice Society pulls into town, and they're featured on the Cully Hamner variant cover. It's kind of hard to see, but squinting at it on paper here in my own hard copy of the catalog, I can't identify more than 2 or 3 of them.
See, I'll try to zoom in as much as possible here, but you're right. It only gives us so much to work with, unfortunately.
Enhance.
There is definitely a Solomon Grundy involved, so
There is. We got Johnny Sorrow. We got Wotan, the Enchanter. We have like the legacy inheritor of the newly minted Golden Age Red Lantern. There in the forefront, in the foreground. And a few others whom I simply cannot name.
Is one of those a Cobra? The guy in green,
Cobra!
or is that somebody else?
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be, and it's Cobra with a K.
Yeah,
And
it's so
the guy
tiny
next to
in
him
this
almost
book.
looks like he has like a Black Hand symbol or a Black Lantern Corps symbol on him. So maybe that's Black Hand. I don't know.
That could be, yeah. Well, either way, this is going to be great, and Diego Olatergi is along for the artwork chores on this, and it's been a long time coming because it took us 3 years to get through 12 issues of the last JSA. So,
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that Jeff's going to get a shot here, and I don't think it's going to take nearly as long to get the 12 issues for this one.
Hopefully not.
I bought the Lemire variant, the Watchmen inspired one, the one that looks like the Minutemen picture.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Which is a good choice. And on the very next page, Black Canary, Best of the Best, #1, 6-issue miniseries, Tom King, Ryan Sook, in. Man.
I'll read it, but the answer is Cassandra's already beaten Lady Shiva, so Dinah's got to beat Cassandra, and Dinah can't beat Cassandra, so at best they're fighting for #2.
Hey, look. I'm not the one writing the book here, so maybe...
I mean, we know the guy writing. Well, let's just call Tom. Hold on.
Okay, hold on.
That's my phone.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, can you just hey, in the last issue, can you just change it so that Cassandra shows up and beats up both of them?
Oh my
Thanks,
God.
Tom. You're the best.
Maybe he
I owe you
will.
lunch.
Maybe he will, for all we know. But I'm
Not because I said so. It's because he's going to decide. He doesn't need to listen to me.
Black Canary deserves more play in general. I
Sure,
feel like
absolutely.
Sure.
Tom's an excellent way of getting her to the forefront. So, yep,
The wraparound cover looks kind of cool too.
it does.
Absolutely on board for this, but I believe I'm going to trade Waid.
Fair enough.
Yeah, same here.
Simply because it is one of those deals where it's $4.99 for a 32-page issue, and I'm going to shave a few bucks off of that by buying it in a collection.
But hey, at least there's a cardstock version for $5.99. Hey,
Doesn't make me feel better.
They didn't get me. They didn't get me with that one. So I'm waiting for the trade.
good. I'm glad. Now, the question all along the Watchtower, number one. There must be something Alex Segura, Cheyenne Torme, who watches the Watchtower? In the wake of absolute power, the Justice League Unlimited has created a haven for all heroes, but can they keep it secure? Enter Renee Montoya, reeling from an abrupt end to her time in Gotham and looking for a place to hang her hat, her question hat. But the Trinity didn't bring her up to the Watchtower to relax. There's a dark threat bubbling underneath the surface, and only the question and her ad hoc support team stand a chance of figuring out who the problem is before it's too late. Once again, I love Renee Montoya as the question, and this feels like it's a perfect accompaniment to the Justice League Unlimited book. It's a different side to the hero community here, filling that gap. So yeah, this looks like it's going to be great.
I want to know who's going to be on her ad hoc support team.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, on page 27, what is Dr. Savannah planning? Shazam number 17. We've got Tawny. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Tawny.
Mm-hmm.
He's great.
I do like that cover.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. I'm a little worried about that $4.99 price tag there, though, because, I've been sticking with the Shazam series thus far, but they're going to hike up the price on... I can't imagine it's one of their higher performing titles. It doesn't make sense to me to increase the price on that one. It's not the right place to grab, DC.
I agree.
And if they're going to... If I'm reading that right and it really is going to be $4.99 going forward, I may need to drop it.
Unfortunately, it appears most of their books are going to be $4.99 moving forward. I'm not seeing... I'm not seeing a lot of $3.99 this time around.
I think they're kind of like testing. They're slowly converting us on to $4.99 for a standard comic.
Yeah, which I'm
dreading, but
which I am resisting as long as I can.
Yeah, it's just not great.
I still love the covers to Multiverses, even if I'm probably not going to read the series. So it is Brian Q. Miller once again, who I very much enjoyed for his Batgirl run back in the day. But these covers for the Multiverses just make me happy. So got to point those out. Shockingly, by Dan Mora.
Oh, it's not a month if Dan Mora doesn't do 48 internal pages and about 117 covers.
Yes, that is true. Actually, that is very true. Wow. That is a horrifying DC Horror Presents cover here. There's a bat coming out of Batman's mouth. Ghosts and ghouls and gore, oh my. Page 29. The Penguin Special has me interested. Jeremy Adams, Bill Finger, Alan Grant, and Jason Aaron. So clearly we're going to be combining some old stories with new stories here.
That is correct. We've got a reprint of the Penguin's first appearance from Detective Comics number 58 in 1941. We've got stories from Secret Origins Special number 1, so it's an 80s style retelling of the Penguin's origin, and Joker's Asylum Penguin number 1 from some event somewhere. I think it was like a 5th week event.
I remember it.
And a brand new exclusive story by Jeremy Adams of Flash and Green Lantern. We all love his stuff. And illustrated by Howard Porter.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, that's a draw.
Oh, absolutely. shows the Penguin's next moves during All In. So get a little bit of Penguin history in there with a brand new story on page 30. This one is 64 pages for only $6. Now, winner chicken dinner here. Batman, Santa Claus, Silent Night Returns, #1. By Jeff Parker with art by Lucas Kettner. Horrors haunt the Christmas season as life-drained bodies litter the countryside, each marked with a strange symbol. Justice League responds, but it's a trap! It's a trap. It's a trap. The heroes are pulled from our world, but not before Batman helps Robin escape. Now Damian Wayne must seek out Zatanna and the one and only Santa Claus if there's any hope of saving their friends and family. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
And the villain that they're facing, the Silent Knight with a K.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm trusting that Jeff Parker is aware that there is a long-standing DC Comics heroic concept called the Silent Knight. He was like a 1950s vintage. He used to appear in The Brave and the Bold. He was like an old Arthurian chivalry character. Squeaky
I do kind of
clean.
remember him. I've seen that before.
If I'm hoping that he, does some token lip service to the previous use of that name in DC lore. Because if not, I'm going to be very disappointed in you, Jeff.
Maybe it's the spirit of the haunted night can't rest until it finds the meaning of Christmas, and Damien has to find the meaning of Christmas for him with violence.
Yes. As you know, that is the meaning of Christmas. No, it's not. No, it's
just Christmas.
Yeah. Well,
just,
I guarantee you that this book that comes out will be better than the J.K. Simmons, Dwayne The Rock Johnson Santa Claus movie that's coming out in the Christmas season, where J.K. Simmons is a Santa who's been stolen, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson has to go find him. So,
I mean, that's just generic Hollywood fill in, family fun kind of made for the parents movie. There've been so many of those.
Oh, I know. It's just like I have never seen a movie feel like it was written by AI more in my life than the trailer I saw for that one. And it's called Red One too, because he's Red One and he's missing. So
right.
Hey.
Yeah, it's just I you know what, I do think I'll watch it eventually, just because I like to have a movie that I'm not interested on sometimes, just to have background noise.
That's fair. Yeah. Page 31 either way for this wonderful Christmas story here by Jeff Parker. Oh wow, look at that Batman 156 Batman 66 variant there. Ugh.
The Batman 66 of Zeranar.
Yes, indeed. All right, moving further here, a whole bunch of stuff ongoing at this point. I will mention World War V once again by Matthew Rosenberg and Matthew Manning. Continues its Elseworld story on page 35. And Milestone Universe, The Shadow Cabinet, #1 by Joseph P. Illidge. Art by Darryl Banks as well. In the 6 months since Brainiac's incursion into the Milestone universe, the nefarious Dr. Edwin Alva has gone missing. Icon's embarked on a deep space voyage, and Rocket has stepped up to fill the role of Earth's protector. But it sure does feel lonely at the top. So this is a brand new Milestone story here, spinning off of the occurrences that have happened DC related of late. So check that out on page 36 if you want some Milestone Universe action. Issue 3 of Cantwell's Plastic Man No More, front and center on page 37. Looking forward to reading that once it's all out. And this is interesting here. Little Batman, month 1, by Morgan Evans with art by John Michael. Taking place after the events of Merry Little Batman, which I very much enjoyed. Gotham City finds itself reeling from the Joker's attacks, and Damian Wayne, a.k.a. Little Batman, is eager to get back into the fight. That's going to be harder than it sounds, as Bruce now wants Damian to put the cowl aside and embrace the value of his secret identity. After a suspicious guest is found lurking around the Wayne New Year's Eve party, it's up to Damian to find the balance between both his personas and save the day yet again. Very, very cool that this is continuing in comic book form. Morgan Evans bringing us a little Batman Month 1. He is the film's screenwriter. So continuing it from the mouth of the original writer. Those of you who haven't watched Merry Little Batman, it's available on Amazon Prime, and it is very much worth a watch.
I gotta get to it eventually.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so behind on so much.
You will enjoy it a great deal, Raph. I have a feeling you're going to love it.
Okay. I'll move it. I gotta finish Agatha and Penguin, and then I'll get to it after that.
Fair enough. Page 41, The Looney Games. Yes. Issue 281 of the Looney Tunes comic. Got to throw that out there for everybody. It's the Olympics. It's the Looney Tunes. Fun is going to wind up being had. Now, the Superman 100 project is very interesting here. Page 42. Hero Initiative's 100 plus original covers to DC Comics Superman number 6 are on display in this great book. There will only be one printing of this book ever. So if any of you want to see all 100 of the Superman number 6 covers that were printed as part of the Hero Initiative's fundraising efforts, this will be for you. Jose Garcia Lopez, Kevin Eastman, Alan Davis, Frank Miller, Frank Whiteley, tons more as well involved with this.
I'll get it from one of my friends that has a store somewhere. I don't know. I can do it. It's doable.
Yep. Oh wow, the final fate of the Flash. I wonder what's going to happen to him.
Oh no. Please don't kill Barry Allen and then never bring him back. Oh no, what will a young Jeff Johns do without Barry Allen?
Oh, womp womp. Well, facsimile edition of Crisis 8, as well as a facsimile edition of Batman number 37, available for you on page 43. That was a Bill Finger and William Woolfolk special all villains issue of Batman, featuring the Joker, Catwoman, Penguin, and Two-Face. Page 44, Kneel Before Zod. All collect.
That's the right underneath it is the compact comics edition that I was talking about getting that I ordered.
Nice. Yep. That Mark Waid guy, you never see him around anymore. Yeah, this is timely as well, as I will mention on this episode, and hopefully we'll get further in depth on it at some point. But the Kickstarter has launched for the documentary, the behind-the-scenes documentary of the making of Kingdom Come, that Alex Ross and some guy named Sal are putting together. So if you are interested in that, head over to Kickstarter and you'll be able to fund that over there. But if you've never read Kingdom Come, this is going to be a damn good way to read it. So check it out on page 44. Mark Waid and Alex Ross bring you Kingdom Come. Further along to the rest of the trades. And I will mention Birds of Prey Volume 2 on page 47, continuing the Birds of Prey story, issue 7 through 13 of that. And that concludes DC, actually. Not a lot of trades to talk about this month. So onward we go to Marvel. And we will be talking about Spider-Man shortly. But Amazing Spider-Man number 61, Avengers Assembled number 500. Yeah, Disney.
Yeah, great. Terrific, thank you.
Fantastic.
Right where it belongs.
You're the best. You're the best. All right. Amazing Spider-Man number 61 starts us off here. They put it at the front because this is going to be important, as it is the beginning of a brand new story arc of Spider-Man with Joe Kelly at the helm, Ed McGuinness on the artwork. The 8 deaths of Spider-Man begin here. The world has changed. Dr. Doom is Sorcerer Supreme, but he has no plans to spend his time like his predecessor, Each year, Doctor Strange would use every ounce of his power and experience to save the world from an evil god and his scions. This year, Doom is delegating this task to Spider-Man, and he gets 8 extra lives. Wow. Go figure.
Greetings, kids.
Magic-powered suit. Coming to a toy shelf near you.
Oh, yes.
He's going to get a new suit, kids.
He definitely is, and I think this is probably it right here on display.
Oh my god. Is it just an update of the spider armor? Because I think I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Adding like a cloak of levitation to it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Well, page 2 has the page the issue 61, and then issue 62 on page 3 there continues it. Spider-Man, one death down, faces the next scion of Sidorak. That's right.
And it's the Juggernaut.
Of course it's the Juggernaut. And the Juggernaut these days is hanging out with the X-Men. So we'll see how that goes. How about this on page 4? I know we talked about the first issue last month, but just the fact that Jonathan Hickman and Esad Ribic are together for this Aliens versus Avengers series. Talk about a pedigree right there. Man. Whew. This is issue 2 of that Aliens versus Avengers miniseries. As Earth surrenders?
What?
I know.
This is another book I want to highlight.
Oh yeah, and you're not the only one. Ryan Drost also had this on his list of things to mention. Jerry Duggan and Danny Kim return the West Coast Avengers to the Marvel Universe on page 6. Ultron returns.
I love the
themed.
I love the West Coast Avengers ever since I was a kid, and I think mainly it's because I knew about the comics first, and I just thought it was a novel idea to have Avengers on 2 coasts, even though nothing ever happens on the West Coast in real life. I think it's also partly because of the excellent, wonderful, terrific Iron Man cartoon from the mid-90s, where in the second season of it, they had a very helpful song that told us who was Iron Man.
Yeah.
It was Tony Stark.
Yes, it was. Also, that was ForceWorks. That wasn't the West Coast Avengers. That was ForceWorks.
It was, but they were on the West Coast.
I know. It's just,
and they were a lot of West Coast Avengers members are in ForceWorks, incidentally.
Pretty much all of them were, quite frankly.
Mockingbird wasn't because she was dead.
Oh yeah, yeah. But look, I mean, at least, isn't ForceWorks just that much cooler of a name than the West Coast Avengers? I mean, come on.
By then, it was the Avengers West Coast, which is just generic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Agreed. Well,
what's next? Avengers Miami, Avengers Special Victims Unit. We don't need that.
No, Avengers. Looks like someone needs to be avenged. Yeah. Jerry Duggan, Danny Kim. This is going to be a Ultron that is possibly a good guy. Let's see how long that lasts. But you're going to have Spider-Woman on this team, Firestar, War Machine, and Iron Man. So yeah, it sounds interesting to me, honestly.
Yep, I'm going to say it can't help but be better than the last thing Marvel tried to sell under the title of West Coast Avengers, which was big ol' yikes. And
I barely remember that.
That's just as well. But I would definitely be on board for this, but it's that pesky $4.99 price tag that's given me pause.
Well, luckily, I will read it on Marvel Unlimited. But yes, I feel you. Yep.
I got it from DCBS. Whether or not I keep getting it from DCBS is TBD. Mm-hmm. Maybe I will. I do have Marvel Unlimited, and I don't use it enough.
Yeah.
So I need to justify using it by not buying so many current issues.
Agreed. Yeah. Well, meanwhile, Iron Man #2, Man versus Monger. The Return of the Iron Monger on page 8. Spencer Ackerman and Julius Ota continue their new run on Iron Man for that. Love the look of that. My God. Whew. That is scary right there. The Stark-Roxxon War continues.
I think I ordered that too.
Yeah, Kaori, Reshaper of Worlds, #1. The breakout character from Disney's What If makes her comic book debut here. Ryan Little and others on the writing chores. Doesn't help me much that it says Ryan Little and more, and the artist is TBA and more. That's not reassuring. But
It's just a one shot.
No, I know, but I hate when it's bad enough when other companies put TBA as their artist.
True.
I would expect Marvel to be better than that, quite frankly. So, but we'll see. Kaori will be in the 616 from this point forward, it looks like. So, very cool.
It's also another $4.99 32-page book.
Yep. This is well worth the price tag, though. This is well worth the $4.99. Page 13, Marvel and Disney, what if Minnie became Captain Marvel? What is the secret past of Minnie Mouse? We've all been wondering, right? I mean, come on. All of us have been wondering what the secret past of Minnie Mouse is. This is so silly.
It is. It really is. But I'll
At least
I'll
when you
look
open
at it
this
on-
comic, you won't find an issue of Amazing Spider-Man inside.
True.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Yes, 100% accurate statement there. Yeah, and look, if Donald Duck is Thor already, then we might as well have Minnie become Captain Marvel, have Mickey become Captain America. We could form a whole, Disney Avengers, quite literally. Like, why not? Let's make it happen. Page 13.
Oh boy, what's your language? My ass is America's ass.
Whoa, dude. Whoa.
I'm just quoting Avengers Endgame.
I know. It doesn't sound right in that voice. It just really doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Do you want to know how I got these scars?
Anywho, Jesus. Is anyone else surprised that they're not just straight up calling this Incredible Hulk number 800 if this is the Hulk-sized issue 800?
Yeah.
It's really more their MO.
Yeah, I know.
And they're going with what was that? There was that version of Hulk. I think this is like right before Hero the Onslaught stuff where he's like a little more primal. It reminds me of that look.
It does because you're thinking that definitely because of the hair more than anything.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a much more primal version of the Hulk from what I've seen from what I've read of it. More horror bent, definitely.
Oh yeah, stressing Hulk as monster among monsters.
Yep, definitely. Well, this has the Skinwalkers in it and the Eldest. So, congratulations on 800 issues of Incredible Hulk in one form or another, and it is also Incredible Hulk number 19 at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Wolverine number 3, Department H goes hunting. W.E. Endigo. W. Endigo. Wendigo is his name. Oh. I look forward to this. Variant, the Ken Lashley variant cover kind of gives that one away, but I am A-okay with it. Now, the Psylocke ongoing I'm interested in. This is Alyssa Wong on writing, Vincenzo Caruto on the artwork chores. As I fell into the trap of in the From the Ashes reviews that we did with Raging Bullets, this is Quanon. This is straight up Quanon.
Mm-hmm. So, back in her own body.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
interesting.
Yep, she got better. She's no longer legacy virused thanks to the island of Krakoa, and she's running around doing her things. So whenever you see this version of Psylocke running around, it is Quanon, and whenever you see the British, pink hair, purple hair version running around as either Captain Britain or otherwise, that is Betsy Braddock. So there are two Psylocks essentially. Very, very different.
Oh, and Raph, there's a pink foil variant
Yeah, I saw, and it pains me. I didn't order it, and I really am thinking about it, but I'm
Well,
trying
they're
to be
making you
disciplined.
inquire regarding foil pricing.
Oh
Hold
no.
on, I'll
No,
tell you
you
right
have
now
to
with
ask. You can't
DCBS.
afford it.
Yeah, that's very true. Hold on, let me go on DCBS
While,
right now.
while while you do, by the way, she was made for violence. Trained to be an assassin since birth, Quanon chose to be an X-Man. But there are still some jobs too dirty for the X-Men, and some paths have to be walked alone. When the mission is brutal, Psylocke unsheathes her blades to punish those who prey on mutants. Exploding out of the pages of X-Men, Alyssa Wong and Vincenzo Caruto take Psylocke into the underbelly of the Marvel Universe, carving out her own place in a world that would rather see her under control. I've seen the preview pages for this, by the way, and it looks like some excellent artwork. So yeah, this is going to be a really cool book. Shades of the Frank Miller Wolverine stuff, essentially, like a lot of ninja action going on, but honor and violence mixing as one, essentially. So, Psylocke number 1 there on page 16. X Factor number 4. Beneath the surface, Havoc and team race to recover the crew of a subterranean expedition beneath Death Valley. But who or what is waiting beneath the desert sands? And what does this all have to do with Cecilia Reyes? I will find out because Cecilia Reyes is in it. And I am happy about that.
I'm already getting X Factor, so I'm already in.
Agent.
Me too.
Yep.
It's about the only X book that I'm going to be getting regularly because A, Mark Russell, and B, $3.99.
I'm getting them all because I'm such a tool bag.
I mean, of the ones that we read, Murd, I would say a huge surprise for me was MYX. I mean, which shouldn't really be that much of a surprise because it's Jackson and it's Lanzig and
Sure.
So it was everything I wanted it to be. It was quite literally New York X. And it involved a lot of the characters from the X-Men, like the new X-Men Mutant Academy era. So a whole bunch of those characters, plus the Cuckoo's thrown in there. It was a lot of fun. It's good stuff.
They don't have it listed. They don't have Psylocke listed under X-Men. That's so weird. I'm sorry. The DCBS doesn't have it listed on the X-Men section of the Marvel section. I'm looking.
Well, while you continue to look at that, let's just focus on the fact that Lila Cheney and Dazzler are together in Dazzler number 3.
Dazzler. Dazzler.
Dude, Lila Cheney and Dazzler are meant to be a duo, and it's going to be perfect. Age 20.
I love it.
Yeah, too good.
It's not under Marvel Heroes either. Why are you keeping this cover from me?
It's fine. You don't need it.
No, I need to know how much it is. I want my jaw to drop. No, let's see if Midtown will help me out here.
Meanwhile, NYX number 5 on page 24, as stated, they've been fired, arrested, thrown out, and beaten and betrayed. New York City is putting Ms. Marvel, Wolverine, Annual, Prodigy, and Sophie Cuckoo through the ringer. I really wish they didn't say Wolverine there and they had said X-23 so that people would know that this is Laura Kinney. But there's no time to rest. A riot's brewing where the machinations of the Quiet Council and the hatred of the Truth Seekers will come to an electric conclusion for the fate of every mutant in the city. Francesco Moratino's artwork on this has been superb as well. Major factor there. Phoenix number 5, Life Incarnate versus Energy Infinite on page 25.
Jean Grey versus Pericus, this is a character I never expected to see again. This is from the Dan Jurgens and John Romita Jr. run on Thor back in like circa 1999-2000.
Yes, I love that run. That was my first comic run.
Yep, he was freed from a prison in the first issue. Also, Richard Rider Nova was in that very first issue as well, along with Phoenix. And there's been some Starjammers action in subsequent issues. This has been another one of those surprise books for me. That it's spacefaring X-Men, and that's always good stuff.
Yep. Stephanie Phillips playing with all the cosmic toys. It's more power to her. Throw them all out there.
Yep. And Uncanny X-Men #5, the brutal conclusion to the Red Wave storyline is here. And that first issue of Uncanny X-Men that I read was also a lot of fun. Gail Simone getting to dip her toe into the X-Men world fully after years of kind of being on the outside looking in. So, Gail Simone Marquez.
I haven't touched my X-Men books. I hear she's done a really good job so far.
She has, yeah. The first issue in particular was a great setup issue. Starts out in Mexico City and then eventually makes its way to their stomping grounds of New Orleans, where they're going to be, mainly located. And back to school for 4 young mutants. Uncanny X-Men #6. Javier Garrón standing in for the artwork chores for that one. The Iron Knight. What does the town of Merle, Alaska owe the X-Men? Where did the defunct Sentinel looming over the town come from? And more importantly, what was it after? We'll find more about that here in Jed MacKay's X-Men #7. We're also setting up for the first crossover between these new books, and there'll also be an X-Men Avengers crossover because, hey, guess what? Jed MacKay writes both books, so it's kind of easy to do. Negasonic Teenage Warhead getting her own book. If you had told me that, even if it is a Infinite comic, if you had told me that was going to happen during the Grant Morrison days, I would not have thought that was possible. But thanks to the Deadpool movies, it is very much a possibility, and they're collecting the Infinity comics that are inside of the Marvel Unlimited book into one shot here, collecting 44 through 49 of the Marvel Voices Infinity comic Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Oh, by the way, the Ricky Yagawa cover is actually not that bad. It's going for like $5 to $7, $9. I see.
Oh, that's not too
$10 here. It's not terrible. I was going to cry if it was like $150, but I'm still not going to get it because I can't see it. But if I see it, and yeah, whatever, I'm not going to look at it. It's fine. I'm never going to see it.
I'm going to cry at how cute this book is. Venom War. It's Jeff. What's eating Jeff? And what's Jeff eating? Jeff is a shark. Jeff can eat whatever he wants.
A land shark.
Yes, he is. The crossover event of summer right here, He's
Jeff. A 2/3 that can nothing stops Jeff from moving or being played into a location.
We'll get to that later. I saw that was on your list, Raph. Okay.
Yes.
We'll get to that later. But Kelly Thompson and Gurahiro bring us Venom War. It's Jeff #1, page 33. Continuing the Ultimate line, Ultimate Black Panther and the Strange Doctor. Not Doctor Strange, but a Strange Doctor. Fascinating. Brian Hill and Stefano Caselli continuing that story there. Prison Break brings unlikely aid to Wakanda, but is this new ally a reliable confidant, or does the godly Moon Knight have more to offer? And we get Ultimate Black Cat, page 37. And this is not your daddy's Black Cat. This is very much a ultimate version of the character. Sure, it'll be a very different dynamic as well, because this is a fully grown, married with kids Peter Parker here dealing with a version of the Black Cat.
True. Be interesting to see how that develops.
Yep.
I'm getting X-Men. I'm getting Ultimates.
Nice. Yeah, I got to catch up on Ultimates. I haven't started it yet.
I got that wraparound cover, I think, because I love gimmicky covers. What can I say?
Well, Hulk is a very different character in the Ultimate Universe, and
yes,
the Ultimates are assembling to take down this version of the Hulk on page 39. Wolverine Revenge is up to issue 4 of 5. I cannot wait to get this as a trade, because Hickman and Capullo, that is going to read very, very well as a fully book. Page 41. Oh, wow.
I remember this cover.
Yeah, wow.
I see it all the time. I used to see it all the time in Midtown.
Page 44, Amazing Spider-Man issue 262 facsimile edition. Man. Reprinting Amazing Spider-Man 262 in full, written and drawn by Bob Layton. And if I remember correctly, this is a photo cover, right? This is not a paint.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. If I remember correctly, I think they tried to get this actor to play Spider-Man in a Spider-Man movie at one point, back when the Salkinds, I think, were still involved with the rights to Spider-Man, if I'm getting my story straight. But either way, shockingly, it didn't happen.
So glad it didn't happen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, of course, issue 11 of Secret Wars facsimile on that very same page. And then an excellent facsimile to own, Web of Spider-Man number 32 on page 45. One of the most iconic covers of the black costume Spider-Man. All part of the Kraven's Last Hunt. Miles Morales has a brand new suit.
Again?
Yep. Totally not to, get you to buy extra suits in the Spider-Man 2 game or anything like that. I'm sure that has nothing to do with it. But all new.
Yes, I'll go buy the action figure. I'm not going to buy the action figure.
No, you're not.
I think I have one Miles. Anyway, I'm not unless it's like an Iron Man armor I really like, or one of my favorite characters. I don't really go for, or a supervillain that I can like, or henchman. I don't really buy much anymore.
I don't mind this, this particular vibranium look, but I do mind the fact that he's still a vampire, and I would very much like that to stop soon. So hopefully they'll figure that out with Miles sooner than later, because I know it took Jubilee a couple of years to stop being a vampire, but I think it'll take less time for Miles to figure it out. Just has to have the will. Oh my God, this cover to Spider-Man Reign. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oosh. Man. Page 49. Love this cover to Spectacular Spider-Men, by the way, on page 51. Great rendering of both Peter and Miles.
That it is.
Yep. Further along, we get to Avengers Assemble number 3 of 5 by Steve Orlando on page 53. Great cover there by Lionel Francis Yu. And Black Panther War Journal, Free the Prisoners. Black Panther stars in this issue as he journeys into the pocket dimension of Meridian Diadem on page 55 by Jed McKay. God. Deadpool Team Up number 4 of 5. Major X returns. Because you demanded it. Someone did. Somebody demanded it.
Yeah, if you're pointing at Rob Liefeld, then yes.
Yes. I found my copy of Major X number 1, by the way, not that long ago.
Oh, really?
It was in one of my boxes, one of my 53 short boxes that I own.
You may notice that Major X's feet are in water, so you do not.
Yes.
Is that?
Yes. Oh, boy. Well, he's one issue away from him probably never working for Marvel again, so that's until he needs more money, that is. Oh, wow. The New Warriors 3 Part 2. JMS and Jesus Saez continuing their Captain America run here. JMS revisits Thor and Spider-Man. When Captain America, Spidey, and Thor find themselves drawn to Broxton, the trio will have to work together to find out what's drawn them to the ruined town and side of Thor's greatest shame. But what they find may prove too horrifying for even the greatest of heroes to overcome. Not only does JMS get to write Thor again, JMS gets to write Thor and Broxton again. So, return home, page 60.
Speaking of Thor, that fantastic Alex Ross painted cover with Thor versus the Grey Gargoyle.
Oh, my God. Oof.
Immortal Thor number 17 on page 61.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely gorgeous bird. Yep. And even just, the use of color, so great. And Daredevil number 15, Wrath of the Devil. Saladin Ahmed. Looks like it's going to be some Kingpin Daredevil action once again on page 63. Okay. We are entering into the trades area.
Oh, yeah, I just saw Uncle Scrooge and the Infinity Dime back there.
Ah, yes.
Offered again. Remember that cool Jason Aaron written Uncle Scrooge comic that came out a couple of months ago? Now you can buy it again, but pay $35 for it this time.
Yeah. They're getting a pretty penny for it, quite literally. So how about that? Jason Aaron and Carl Barks. That's on page 72 and 73 for that. This is important here. Page 74. I believe this was solicited before John Cassaday's passing. And Cosmic X-Men Omnibus hardcover with the John Cassaday cover. The X-Men's Greatest Spacefaring Adventures, starring the Shi'ar Imperial Guard, the Starjammers, and Sword. We haven't talked about it here on the show, but obviously, most of the comic book world knows at this point that John Cassaday unfortunately passed away way too soon. And, I'm just glad that his work exists. He was a part of one of my favorite runs of X-Men, obviously Planetary, and tons of other comic books over the years. And
Ranger,
the list goes on and on. But he was a luminary in the industry for a reason. He was a good guy from everything I heard about him. For the few times that I hung out with him, he seemed like a really, really cool dude. And here, if you're going to buy a Cosmic X-Men book, you may as well get the Cassaday cover to make it happen. So this one collects a whole bunch of stuff from over the years, all the way from X-Men 105 all the way to Uncanny X-Men 247, some Marauder stuff thrown in there for good measure, giant size Astonishing X-Men and Astonishing X-Men 19 through 24, and a bunch of other stuff. So definitely give it a look. And here's to you, John. Passed way too soon.
Yep. Great guy. Closed the bar with him once.
Yep. Pretty sure I was there with you.
No, you left because I went to the after hours bar with them.
Oh God!
I didn't get home until legitimately 7:30, 8 in the morning.
I forgot there was an after hours after the after hours. Yeah.
Yeah. I was tired but I was 21, 22, and I could recover from that. I can't. Yes. I go to a wrestling show until 12 midnight, and my voice is gone. 24 hours later, and I'm barely awake and functional.
The 7 train wasn't running the one stop back to Flushing, by the way, last night.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I know, because I eventually gave up on the allure, and I had a woman bothering me, begging me how to get to Flushing, and I had to look it up for her.
It's called a shuttle bus. It was literally. Yeah. It was
well, no, she rode back into Manhattan before.
Oh, okay.
I had my headphones on, and at one point, I just happened to look over, and she's just like, "Oh, can you help me? Can you help me?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, fine. I don't want to be rude."
Oh boy.
So hopefully she got to where she needed to.
I hope so too.
So you ended up on the shuttle bus?
I wound up on the shuttle bus, and then I took a bus, and then I wound up walking home from Parkchester because I had hours to kill. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep. All right. Meanwhile, and that's called a tangent that only we care about. Wolverine Gambit.
Right. Yeah. No one cares.
Wolverine Gambit Victims Gallery Edition. Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale. This was a awesome series, and again, talking about a artist that's gone way too soon. This is well worth your reading. I love this story back in the day. Wolverine Gambit Victims 1 through 4, and also material from Uncanny X-Men Annual number 18. Gambit stalks the streets of London hunting Wolverine. And this is going to be $50 for 120 pages, so it's a pretty penny, but it's a gallery edition hardcover. So you're getting oversized Tim Sale artwork here,
nice,
to warrant that $50 price tag. And obviously, in most places like DCBS and whatnot, it'll be way less than $50. So wait for a discount, buy it, and you'll be happy to have it on your shelf. Page 76.
Gambit out there trying to make a name for himself.
It's his time. All right. Speaking of Avengers.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Avengers West Coast Volume 1 by Steve Englehart and Dave Michelini. Artwork by Al Milgram and Bob Hall with Richie Howell and Kerry Gamble. This collects West Coast Avengers 1 through 7, Vision and the Scarlet Witch 1 through 2, and Wonder Man number 1. So this is the good era of West Coast Avengers. Page 82. Why they couldn't just call it Marvel Masterworks West Coast Avengers, I'll never know. But, oh well.
I mean, it's fine. I'll live with it.
The books they're talking about are West Coast Avengers. Title your collection appropriately. And you know what? Actually, even looking at the cover,
yeah,
it's West Coast Avengers on this cover. It's Avengers West Coast on this cover.
Mm-hmm.
That's just inconsistency right there.
Well, someone wasn't paying attention, or they just want to make it consistent with the latter series, even though it's not worth it. But whatever.
I think they just want to put the Avengers brand name up front.
Yeah, that's also a thing.
I'm sure that's exactly it. I don't have.
Also, Marvel Masterworks getting into the 80s is amazing because I never thought I would see this day.
These comics laid the groundwork for Marvel Studios' WandaVision and the upcoming Agatha all along. Hey, if it gets them to publish it, then so be it. But Vision and Scarlet Witch Volume 1, again, Englehart with Barr, McKenzie, Higgins, Mantlo, Dennis Maloney, and Richard Howell. Art by Howell, Milgram, Plunkett, Rick Leonardi, Paul Smith, and others. Mike Mignola even in there on the artwork. This collects the full Vision and Scarlet Witch 1 through 12 miniseries.
Maxi series.
You're right. Correct. Yes, very good point. West Coast Avengers number 2 and material for Marvel Fanfare 6, 14, 32, 48, and 58. Along with Marvel Superheroes number 10, Solo Avengers number 5, and of course, for good measure, What the number 3. Gotta love when they throw the what the in there for good measure. Oh, man. But yeah, page 83 for that. This is well worth your time as well. Doom Treasury Edition by Jonathan Hickman and N.D. Stevenson. This collects the Doom number 1, Fantastic Four, 583, and Runaways number 1. I don't like the price tag for literally 3 issues and 100 pages.
That's a lot.
But it's good stuff, so just read it on Unlimited and enjoy it. But either way, page 84.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Yep. All right. Was your thing in the Marvel book or
it's in Dark Horse?
A Dark Horse. Okay, got it. Okay, so we'll get there.
Yes, they do. Dark Horse does all those art books.
Got it. Cool. Thor Modern Era Epic Collection. We've got, speaking of JMS's Thor run, we got a whole bunch of it here. This collects Thor 601 to 614, Thor Annual number 1, Giant Size Finale number 1, Siege Loki number 1, and New Mutants number 11 for the full Thor crossover there, page 94. And one of my favorite covers. This is the God Loves, Man Kills trade paperback epic collection of Volume 10 of the X-Men, which collects 168 through 175 of Uncanny X-Men, the X-Men Annual, number 7, and the God Loves, Man Kills graphic novel, which is in Marvel graphic novel number 5, and Wolverine 1 through 4, also collected here as well. That's a great collection.
It is.
Yeah.
I want to get this.
488 pages for $45, page 97. And I think that's going to conclude Marvel, and it does indeed.
Yep.
Off we go back to the main book. And
my first is Abrams.
Okie dokie. We're not too far from there now. But I will start here on page 168 with Popeye, Man Overboard, hardcover by Antoine Ozanam, with art by Wayless. Visually stunning and poetic, the story of Popeye before he became Popeye. Told here in a full hardcover story with some absolutely gorgeous artwork to go along with it.
That does look really good.
Yeah, I love it. I love a very, very different take on an established character, and that seems to be exactly what's going on here with this book. So if you have any interest in this, and possibly even if you enjoyed the storyboards that leaked of Gendy Tartakovsky's unmade Popeye movie, this might be up your alley as well. So Popeye Man Overboard hardcover on page 168.
Whoa.
All right. Let's see anything else really in a blaze. So let's scroll down a bit more. The Tales of a Sunda cover here. No idea what they're going for. I mean, sometimes people are just trying to ice skate uphill, but I have no idea what they're trying to achieve here with this cover on page 183. Okay.
Never seen that image before.
Nope.
Interesting weapon she's holding, though, like a blade of some sort, or something. I don't really see it.
Let's go to page 190. Not only because we always like supporting Norton, and that's something that we very much do. Not only do I love the team of Tim Seeley and Mike Norton, and I'm glad to see them doing something again, but Archie is Mr. Justice.
With the one caveat here that Archie is not, in fact, Mr. Justice. Archie is Pure Heart the Powerful, while Mr. Justice is a completely different character, like the reincarnation of the ghost of like a slain English prince from several centuries ago. But anyway, that aside, do go on.
Yes. Thank you very much for the clarification there. But this is...
It seems necessary.
Oh, no, absolutely the case. Page 190, young Archie Andrews is not your typical teenager, except for the fact that he has superpowers and an undying urge to do what's right. Eat brains. No. Inspiring his hero persona, Mr. Justice. Guiding Archie on the path of heroism is his best friend, Jughead. The pair aim to right the wrongs of the greedy Hiram Lodge, who turned their tranquil hometown of Riverdale into a luxury city, forcing families out and big businesses in. I have no idea what that's like. I live in New York City. Can Archie's brand
actually isn't Riverdale like right there?
Yeah, it's on the other side of the Bronx, Riverdale. Right. Yeah, I don't think it's Archie's Riverdale, but still, there is a Riverdale in the Bronx. Can Archie's brand of justice bring Riverdale into a new prosperous era, or will his need to do good ultimately be his downfall? This is truly a love letter to the best of Archie for fans of series like Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow and Invincible.
I don't think it's going to reach the level of Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow.
And I don't think it's going to be as bloody as Invincible.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So
Archie's not going to accidentally punch a hole through Jughead or something.
Yeah. But the Action Comics homage cover there on 191, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah. It's a great creative team they've got here, but do take note, everybody, that it's a 4-issue miniseries and every issue has a different creative team. So we're only getting Seeley and Norton for this one issue.
All right.
Well, I guess I'll pick up this one issue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I guess I've been sold on it.
Hey, it's some classic Mike Norton art, and oh my god, it's so good.
you don't have to sell me. I will always support Norton. I just didn't realize, you're flipping through DCBS, everything just starts to blur after a certain point, and you just no, you just keep going, maybe no, and you just completely pass it. Where's Archie?
Absolutely. Yep.
Where's Archie?
Very glad that we pointed that one out. And now we scroll down into the distillery area to page 202.
We're the No Vowels Company.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how they save money on paper, by just not putting vowels in anything. But The City Beneath Her Feet, number 1, James Tinian IV and Elsa Charretier on the artwork chores. A bloody love letter to New York City. The City Beneath Her Feet is an action thriller love story for a new generation by James Tinian IV. Jasper Jane was the girl of Zara's dreams, but their brief relationship came and went in such an intense blaze that Zara was left thinking Jasper was just that, a dream. Years later, Zara is thrust back into Jasper's world, unknowingly listed as her emergency contact. Zara must piece together the mystery of Jasper's life, all while being hunted by the assassins who once called Jasper one of their own. For fans of Strangers in Paradise, Kill Bill, and Mr. and Mrs. Smith, this sounds awesome, and I am in. Page 202.
I'm going to whiff.
You gonna whiff the? You gonna wait for the trade on that one?
Yeah.
All right, nicely done. I mean, I might wind up doing that for most of the distillery stuff because it looks like it's kind of on the hefty price side. But
I'm just overwhelmed, and I need to somehow I need to convert some of my single issues into digital or other means.
Well, it doesn't help that the oversized reserve hardcover of White Boat number 1. Wow, that was a slip of the tongue. By Scott Francesco Francavilla is $40 for 64 pages.
It's the first issue. Was it just a one shot? I don't know.
Yeah, either way, $40.
That's a lot of money.
Reserve hardcover. I do not think I would wind up doing that.
I like the creative team, but no. Did we skip Abrams, or is it?
That's under manga.
Oh, okay. I'll wait then. I'll wait for that one. The next one would be Dark Horse, though.
Yep. And here we are.
Dark Horse is here, and I will start us off. Thought I saw something of note here. Yes, Christmas 365, number 1. By Mikey Way, Jonathan Rivera. It's comes the most bizarre holiday comic yet. The holidays weren't always so tough for Peter Rockwell and his family, but a tragic and challenging year finds them stressed out and drifting apart when they should be pulling together. After accepting the wisdom of a Santa Claus at his local mall, Peter hatches a plan to give his family the best year ever. One Christmas at a time. Ooh, it's going to be Christmas all year round, ain't it? I see where this is going. Christmas 365. That's not going to get annoying.
Yep, that's.
It wasn't on my list, but Giant Robot Hellboy Returns number 1.
Yeah, that look up there too. Yeah, but let me just conclude with saying Murd has no idea what 365 years of Christmas is like.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I definitely didn't record an audio reading of a story about that at one point.
I remember that. I do remember that.
Mm-hmm. Let me interject here, though, on this same page, just to cover all bases on page 222. We have a new entry in Patton Oswalt's World of Minor Threats, The Brood, number 1. This time we're dealing with a Lex Luthor analog called Napoleon Archimedes. Master criminal crime lord type. His health is failing, and he needs to decide how to divvy up his criminal empire between his 3 children, Athena, Benjamin, and Spook Show. It's a real Frank Zappa as far as the naming of kids, apparently. And so it's King Lear meets Lex Luthor, basically. It's another fun superhero analog play from the mind of Patton Oswalt.
Nice.
Also feels a little Succession-y, too.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
I am the oldest boy.
Insert piano music here.
Yep, that was probably an influence on Oswalt. You are right.
Oh, yeah.
Me, I watched one episode of that and was influenced never to watch any more.
Yeah, well, I mean, considering it's basically like based on the Murdoch family, you don't need to really know.
It's incredibly Shakespearean, but also, I mean, off air, I was talking to Murd about how I needed the Gatsby play to have, characters that were worse. Secession is all about worse characters. Everybody sucks.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I
And
know that's exactly what chased me away from it. I'm afraid.
I can take that stuff in small doses.
Brilliantly executed. One of my favorite shows, but I 100% know it is not for everybody.
I like my monsters, men in giant suits.
Yes.
Let's just put it that way.
Speaking of which, giant robot Hellboy returns, #1. Hellboy,
yes.
robot counterpart is back, but he's not alone. Scientists comb the deep sea for any sign of giant robot Hellboy after his disappearance, but find more than they bargained for when an interdimensional portal threatens to pull them in or let monsters of unknown origin out. Giant
Pacific Hellboy.
Hellboy. Yep. Mike Mignola, Duncan Fegredo. Good stuff. All on page 222. Speaking of Mr. Seeley, 223, issue 3 of the Masters of the Universe Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtles of Grayskull crossover, with once again artwork by Freddie E. Williams III.
Second.
Why did I say third? It's
rounding up, I guess.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, Freddie Williams is second, and Tim Seeley on that one. Yep, it's always great to see Freddie artwork, and
especially with Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, especially when Ninja Turtles are involved, that makes it even cooler. So.
I'm sorry, Freddie. I forgot to order. I'm gonna get the hardcover or hard trade or whatever. I'm sorry. I promise I'll get it, Freddie. I just haven't ordered any of them.
You know that you're gonna, and then you're gonna try to get him to sign it. So I know.
Of course I am. And then I'm gonna get another Raph print or something. And then I'm gonna look, and then I'm gonna go, oh, wait, someone else here I know that's gonna want to do some Raph prints. And then $700 later, I'm gonna come along with Raph prints. That's how it works. That's how New York Comic Con works.
Page 226 is all about you, Raph. The art of Marvel Snap.
Yes. So I chose this because for about a year and a half, the Marvel Snap mobile game completely consumed me to the point that I would wake up in the morning, roll out of bed, sit on my desk, and turn on my laptop, and start my day with an hour or two of Marvel Snap, to which I have a spreadsheet counting all my statistics. Which some of which is good, but I never hit the top level of the game, and it got to the point where I needed to walk away from the game, and I haven't played in like 2 or 3 months now. But my gripes with the game, my personal failings with the game aside, I really enjoy the art there because they do use a lot of comic art, and they're starting to use like actual like classic comic art in the game now.
Nice.
But the artists they use are very interesting. They're like comic adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
Like the artist of Teen Titans Go. What is his name? I forget. I'm blanking on his name, but he does the chibi covers.
Oh,
not the chibi.
Yes.
Yeah, he does his own version of he has his own like line of variants for cards, and they look very nice. I like them. Not a lot of people play the game.
Did you mean Titans Go or Tiny Titans?
No, Teen Titans Go, because Tiny Titans is Art and Franco, and I know that. I just don't remember. If it's a comic book, I remember. If it's a cartoon, I'm not as good at that.
Got it.
Mike
Krahulik of Penny Arcade also did a couple of
yes.
cards for Marvel Snap.
I have his Deadpool.
Yep.
And then there's like Peach Momoko who wasn't at the beginning of Marvel Snap, wasn't doing as much in comics. Her covers were a lot more rare. It was now like writing and drawing Ultimate X-Men. There's a lot of I feel like there's a lot of people who we see a very little of in comics who actually have a lot more in like Marvel Snap, and I hope that people that like the game appreciate their artwork. Even though the circles I ran in, they were really shitty towards the artists. Like they were pretty awful, especially toward there was one guy who thought the baby covers were disgusting, and I was like, dude, I know that guy. He's cool. Like, what are you doing?
Seriously. Hey, well, if there's one thing in this world that we know exists, it's comic book fans that really should take a chill pill. And I'm glad that I don't really associate with that side nearly as much, but there are tons of them out there. So chillax. It's a game, people. Let's just let it slide, okay? But
I need when I get an obsession and I'm not good at it, it just eats at me. So I needed to walk away. I can't stand. It just frustrated me, and I have just let go of the frustration, right? If you let go of the frustration, you're fine. I don't feel that pain anymore.
If you don't want to worry about playing the game and you just want to look at some pretty art,
exactly. That's why I'm recommending this book, because I love the art of the game. It's just, if I open the game, I want to play, and then to get to get the artwork, you have to unlock the cards, and you have to spend money, and you have to do this, and you have to do that, and free. I mean, not free, but you don't have to like. This is not electronic. This won't ever go away. When that game shuts down and this book is still in your library, it's still in your library. That's the thing.
I'm very glad I stopped playing it a while ago, because it was way too addictive, and it was hard to keep up. And that's kind of what got me to stop playing it, was that it was hard to keep up. And I'm kind of glad.
Oh no, I kept up, but like it was like I would literally play like at the very beginning, I played like 4 to 6 hours a day. Then I got it down to like 2. But not getting to infinite and then not getting every little thing that I wanted really was frustrating, because I was putting the effort in, but I didn't get the results. And I just was like, you know what? Not getting the results out of a game that's supposed to be enjoyable, there's something wrong there, right? Yeah. You play a game to enjoy it, not to get results out of it. I was taking it way too seriously. I was like, you know what? I don't need to play this game. I don't.
When you can just get Marvel Midnight Suns instead. I
have it.
Okay, yeah, I
got it for free.
Nice.
Epic Games Store.
Yep, I think I did as well, but also it's part of my PlayStation subscription anyway. So I believe is also getting WWE 2K24 as part of the subscription. So
I saw that announcement. Yes, you are.
On that same page, 226, I remember in the past that I pointed out the All-Nighter, and this is the full trade paperback that collects issues 11 through 15 of the All-Nighter. I don't know why it says Volume 1. It is actually Volume 2, but nonetheless, the All-Nighter is collected here outside of the Prime service. In trade paperback form on page 226, Chip Zdarsky's superhero vampire story.
Who also run a late night diner.
Yes, exactly. Yep. That's also a very important part of that book. Fun parts.
Fun concept all the way through.
Absolutely. Speaking of Marvel stuff that Dark Horse is putting out, the Marvel Comics covers of Jack Kirby, Volume 1, 1961 to 1964. So if you want a ton of Kirby dots in your life and you want to look at some fancy schmancy Kirby covers, well, that is for you there on page 228. And it will be a very pretty coffee table book, to say the least. And I think that's about it for Dark Horse as we head over to IDW. And Godzilla Rivals, King Ghidorah versus Space Godzilla is on the table here on page 230. It's Space Godzilla. It had to be mentioned.
It's the last issue of that Rivals series. Also, I should mention, I love Space Godzilla because the movie he debuted in was like 1993. So he's basically like Godzilla Doomsday.
Ooh,
if you think about it, because he's got these like crystals on his shoulders and his elbows, like Doomsday has his claws. Space Godzilla has these crystals, and he uses these crystals to generate power. He overpowers Godzilla in the movie. Obviously, I mean, Godzilla's just Godzilla. Godzilla doesn't have space. And Space Godzilla has, so he has the upper hand.
God. This is really the last one of these Godzilla Rivals are going to be making, Raph?
That's what I read somewhere else. I don't know if that's 100%. But I thought I saw this like in this final issue maybe it doesn't say it in that solicitation, so maybe I'm wrong, but I thought I read that somewhere.
Yeah,
I hope not, because they're always
If
fun.
they're fun, yeah, they're fun. I love them. I just haven't gotten all of them. I've picked and chosen.
all right. Well, page 230 has that for any of you Godzilla fans. Let's go down to Star Trek number 26. Just a reminder of how much fun this always is. And in its escape from the Delta Quadrant, the USS Theseus has landed in an unknown sector of space that appears safer, if not 100 years younger, than their own. There, the crew receive a signal from an oncoming ship, the USS Enterprise. Captain James T. Kirk is hailing. The two crews join together in a race against Lore's wave of destruction, convinced there must be some countermeasure that will save the universe from complete annihilation. But will their combined bravery and brain power be enough? Or is it always too late for both their or is it already too late for both their timelines? And that appears to be Pinekirk on
it's Kelvin.
Yeah.
The implication is that the two universes implies that it's Kelvin and Prime.
Okay.
Or whatever. I don't know if this is Prime Universe, to be honest.
Well,
whatever this universe is, and the Kelvin universe.
I love it. I absolutely love it, especially Cisco and Kelvin Kirk teaming up is a interesting concept. So yeah, 232 for Star Trek number 26. And on the other
side, what's next to it?
Yes, exactly. As was I. Lower Decks, baby.
Lower Decks.
I hope that this means that there will be continued Lower Decks stories after the conclusion of the series, because this is the final season that's going to be launching shortly. But Ryan North and Derek Charm bring us Star Trek Lower Decks number 1. There was previously a miniseries. This is going to be an ongoing, I believe. So happy to see that happen. Page 232.
Mm-hmm. By Ryan North and Derek Charm, formerly of Adventure Time.
Yes, indeed.
At the bottom of page 233, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Best of Mondo Gecko one-shot. I am surprised as all get out that 100 pages of Mondo Gecko comics exist. Collected into this one-shot.
Oh my god. I am not familiar with Mondo Gecko. I need to be schooled.
I have the action figure.
Oh, nice.
He's a gecko, and he's kind of Mondo.
Oh, okay. I get it.
He's a skater.
Yeah, he's like
a skater boy. He said, "See you later, boy." And then he mutated into a lizard.
Yes, that's exactly what it. He's not. I don't think he's in a lot of the cartoon. I think he's only in a handful of episodes. Maybe I don't think he made it beyond the first one. He's in the most recent movie. As part of the squad of mutants that Ice Cube, whichever one is in the movie is running.
Yes. You remind me.
Yeah, I feel like he was a action figure first before he was a cartoon character, and then eventually made it to the comics.
Okay.
I know he was in some of the Archie TFT comics.
He's more of an Archie. He's not a Mirage guy. I don't think.
Super 7 made a more recent action figure of him as well. That's available. There's also a action figure of the current Mutant Mayhem version of him, which is a different color and certainly looks significantly different than the original.
Yeah, listen, if my parents named me Mondo Gecko, I'd so get it, but that's not the case, so I'm not getting it.
That's fair. That's perfectly fair.
If my name was Mondo Gecko, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, no, it's not. None of those names are mine, so I'm stuck.
You do remind me though that I have to check out the new animated series. I haven't actually done so yet. Where they
It's the one based on the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it takes the 3D movie. Well, I mean, it's not even 3D, but basically, it makes it an easier animated look to replicate, while still keeping the general style of the animated movie.
Yeah, I actually played a little bit of Shredder's Revenge, which was 2D like beat 'em up, like a modern beat 'em up, and like an homage to like the Turtle in Time style games. Really good.
Oh yeah,
I liked it a lot for the one level I played.
Yeah, I played through the whole thing, and I also, it's by the Scott Pilgrim video game guys. So it's
okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
We are at Abrams Comics and Human Nature #1 on page 236.
Is that yes? That's the one I wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Double issue miniseries premiere from Darren Aronofsky and Ari Handel, the writer, producer, director team behind the Oscar award-winning Black Swan and instant classics The Fountain and Mother. Along with Jeff Welch comes a social satire of a bizarre yet fathomable future. Drawn by comic book industry giant Martin Morazzo, Human Nature follows the egomaniacal Nebraska-based chicken magnate Duke. Duke has almost all the world's resources at his disposal. Once a lowly everyday man, Duke managed to work and intimidate his way into an endless fortune. However, even though he has almost everything, there's one thing even the richest men in the world can't buy: immortality. Or can he? Find out how a wealthy, lonely man tries to scheme his way into beating death and the earth-shattering consequences of his actions. Seems interesting.
Yeah, no, it does definitely sound interesting.
I can't believe the main character from G.I. Joe became a bad guy.
Yeah, I don't think that's what they're talking about.
Okay. Well,
either way, it certainly looks fascinating. Darren Aronofsky is a weird dude, and I'm sure this is going to be weird.
Yes. Also, yes. Which is why I'm looking forward to it. I want something a little different.
Mother is one of the strangest movies I've ever watched in my life, quite frankly.
Yes.
I know what it was aiming for, but by God, is that a weird-ass movie. 238, Abrams Fanfare, Marvel Super Stories, Amazing Adventures by Jarrett J. Krasovska and artwork by Michael Cavallaro. This is the second volume in a brand new middle-grade anthology series of Marvel Comics, featuring 15 all-new 6-page stories. Written and illustrated by some of the biggest names in comics. This all-star lineup features original standalone stories featuring Spider-Man, Cap, the Avengers, the Guardians, Hulk, Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, Thor, Moon Knight, Spider-Man 2099, Silk, the Fantastic Four, tons others. And yeah, it's nice middle-aged, not middle-aged, but middle reader.
We're middle-aged.
Thank you, Chief. But middle reader book that's available for the youths and whatnot to get into Marvel, hopefully. So check it out on page 238. This Exo Manowar cover is amazing. On page 241, does a very, very good job of being X-Force #1, and it's just gotta love the send-ups. Even using the old Valiant logo in the logo box is an excellent of making that happen. So
the story looks interesting. I might.
Yeah.
Let's see. Explore the essence of Arlo, Exo Manowar, a time-displaced Visigoth warrior turned superhero by a sentient alien armor. Arlo is now separated from his powerful ally of armor, Shanhara. Stranded in an alien jungle, he must survive while being hunted by the force that once empowered him. Can Eric endure this ultimate challenge and prove his heroism without Shanhara? So yeah, it seems like it's like a predator type of thing going on.
Yep, basically,
it should be cool.
Yeah, no,
I'll check it out.
It certainly seems interesting. It's Fred Van Lente, by the way, and Jesus Barrios on the writing and art, and Valiant puts it out on page 240.
All right, Fred, you got me. Damn it.
Mm-hmm. It is $5.99 for further 32 pages, though.
All right, Fred, you didn't get me. I'm sorry.
I got you back out, Raph.
Yes, thank you. I'll read it some other way.
And I will point out they're doing these send-up covers for every single book this month out of Valiant. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm seeing that.
Speaking of Mr. Van Lente, maybe he'll get you for Archer and Armstrong collected. This collects.
I already have all those issues.
All right, 0 through 17 of our.
He already got me. He did get me like 12 years ago when they first came out.
Yeah, I mean, Fred Van Lente and Clayton Henry, by the way. So it's
it was a great series. I loved it. I
yeah.
absolutely loved it.
Yep. Page 245 has that for everybody. If you did not check it out when it originally was released, I will talk about this before the manga section. Page 248, one-shot manga, by the way. Astrobiologist Praetus, a whole new meaning to spaced out. Nagi, who lives in a faraway village close to the sea, is bored out of her mind and drifts in her last summer holiday before ending high school. One fateful day, she has an out-of-body experience and meets Praetus, a chill cosmic being from another plane of existence. Can our mundane reality be exciting from another point of view? If you put 3 exclamation points in a copy, I'm going to be interested in you. So they did a good job with that. Page 248. All right. Let's scroll it down past American. Scary Christmas versus Killer Claus. Page 257. Yeah. Good for you, American mythology. Good for you.
Pacing licenses. Got to do it.
Yep.
Got to have something recognizable.
That's the way to go. That's the way to go. But I mean, it's James Kahoric of Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, and Todd Livingston of starring Sonia Devereaux and Geo Parsons, creator of Willy's Wonderland, are your evil elves spinning bloody holiday horror this Christmas season. It's what everyone wants.
Yeah, I'm not really. I mean, I'm sure the horror fans will enjoy that, but I'm not that much of a horror guy.
It's what everyone wants. No, not really.
All right. Back up there on page 261. I've got to do something uncharacteristic for me and shout out something from Antarctic Press right there. Wow. Tomorrow Girl number 9, the title character has a run-in with Herbie Popnecker, the Fat Fury. My favorite oddball third-party publisher Silver Age characters. Also, a very rare appearance by Fat Man, the Human Flying Saucer, which is a very little-known creation of Captain Marvel creator C.C. Beck and prolific Captain Marvel writer Otto Binder. And they even have an appearance by Atomic Mouse thrown in there somewhere.
Okay. So, and the cover itself is a send-up to the first appearance of Supergirl.
Definitely.
Yep.
Popping out of that grandfather clock, which was the Fat Fury's preferred mode of time travel, after all.
Very fat, very real. That should be his tagline moving forward, by the way. Very fat, very real.
Also very handsome.
Yes. Page 261. All right. Let's get further down to You and I, page 270. Illustrated by Mike Choi, written by JMS. The Resistance universe returns in a new tale. The next chapter in the saga of the Resistance universe focuses on an unlikely love story. The mysterious You has no memory of his past before awakening with powers after the great death that took many lives and created the superpowered reborns. His vision of the world is one that is more beautiful and full of hope than the rest of us can see. And searching for a purpose, a reason to live, he discovers Isabel, whose father died in the plague, and who has recently been thrown out to live in the streets by her uncle. The two meet, a spark is lit between them, but another spark is lit, one that's sure to lead to explosive consequences when You runs afoul of a crime syndicate that will stop at nothing to get revenge. This collects the 6 issues of You and I by JMS and Mike Choi on page 270. Big fan of Mike Choi's artwork, and happy to see that teaming with a guy like JMS is in the cards. If I see George R.R. Martin presents on a comic, by the way, I'm skipping it because it's in protest of the fact that he has not put out any more books.
Right, George, right like the
Protest.
winds.
Oh, boy.
George R.R. Martin, please write in, write faster. You're not getting younger.
We don't have the rights to that song. We don't have the rights to that song.
Right.
Paul and Storm.
Sorry.
We apologize.
Don't sue us, Paul.
Don't sue us, Paul. We big fans. Big fans.
Yes.
Oh boy. Let's go to Drawn and Quarterly. Blankets 20th anniversary edition. So anybody who has
has it been that long?
Yeah. This is offered again, mind you. So this 20th anniversary edition has been out, but this is the soft cover edition of Blanket's 20th anniversary outing. So this is a brand new printing of it with some extras and stuff like that. So if you haven't checked out Blankets, this is a good way to do so.
I think I've read that 20 years ago.
I'm sure you probably did.
I still have my obviously I still have my copy. It's just so many books.
But do you have this out of Dren Productions? Dungeons and Dimwits Holiday Special.
I don't, but I'll probably get it.
The Dimwits find themselves in an icy northern town and try to find a place to get warm, a place that happens to be the target of some holiday pranksters. Page 294.
20 pages for $5.99. I'm probably not going to get it.
Probably not.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I know you're an independent company trying to do your best.
Yeah.
It's hard. I get it. I'm sorry.
It's going to be really hard to do it when you're offering things for that price point, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't. It's nothing against your talent. It's really not. I'm a minimum wage retail slave. I can't get everything.
What about page 303, volume 2 of Walt Disney's Frozen Gold, the complete Carl Barks Disney Library, volume 2. Carl Barks' earliest stories. The Good Duck Artist delivers another superb collection of surprise, delight, comedy, adventure, and all-around cartooning brilliance. Over 200 pages of story included here from Barks' early days with the Ducks. In his second volume on page 303. Further along, and let's get down a little bit further into the catalog in general. As we approach Punch, The Second Coming, collected edition by some schlub named Grant Morrison, along with Alan Amato.
I've never heard of him.
I know. And Jonathan Marks. So here we all are, straddling the unholy prow, splitting the water between life and death, faith and doubt, hope and damnation. Punch the Second Coming collects all 4 issues of the Punch miniseries about a heartbroken priest who defies his faith and commits the unforgivable sin. He finds God and the devil casting lots in a seedy bar for his eternal soul. There's a bar fight between God's infernal virtues, the hounds of heaven, and the devil's 7 deadly sins. Survivors of the homicidal pogroms, thank you, perpetrated by the one God against the many. I'm just going to stop it here and say it's a Grant Morrison story, clearly, because
yes, I love Grant.
Yeah,
I'll give it a shot eventually. I'll work my way there.
Yeah, this is 104 pages of story for $50 before discount. I'm sure there are discounts available for it, but it's out of Holy Crow Press, page 319, in hardcover format. 322, Animals, brings a new horror from the twisted mind of Keith Foster. A hunter in Olympic National Park dies from what an eyewitness insists was a long-dead elk coming back to life to exact revenge. Next, a bear stalks a camper with human intelligence and determination.
Animals. I hope the camper has human intelligence.
Yeah, seriously.
No, the bear did, and it wanted his picnic basket. But it's up to Sheriff Jack Bertrand to figure out why. Animals #1, page 322. You're right. That copy could have been written better.
Yeah, it's a little awkward.
But the bear had human intelligence, and he really likes picking at bastards. Oh, boy. All right. Let's get this further along. A reminder that the Gatchaman ongoing, as well as the Flash Gordon ongoing, exist, and you can find those on 330 and 331.
Oh, I have something here in Mad Cave, but you haven't gotten. I don't think you've gotten to yet.
Let's talk about this, actually. We mentioned Alex Segura a little bit already, but the legendary Lynx graphic novel, The Lost Story of Carmen Valdez, has been found. In the metafictional world of novelist Alex Segura's LA Times Book Prize-winning novel, Secret Identity, readers were introduced to the legendary Lynx, a hero lost to time and seemingly forgotten. Now, for the first time ever, readers will share a knowing wink and travel back in time to experience one of the seminal lost comic book stories. Lynx, the classic superhero, must choose between her heroic responsibilities and an overdue debt to a dear friend. Experience all 4 issues of this fictional forgotten gem, a delightfully retro comic book adventure. I love when they do stuff like this. This feels like The Escapist and stuff like that. It's very well into that category. And Alex Segura and Sandy Jarrell have that for us once again on page 332.
Yep, it really does look like a forgotten Atlas Comics
book.
title of the 70s.
Yep.
Spectrum was my book.
Spectrum? Okay.
Yeah.
Right
Melody Parker is losing her mind. She's living on the streets of Seattle during the WTO protests of 1999. She is seeing things: androids, aliens, pigs in high fashion, and a creature named Echo, one of the sustained elemental beings with the power to alter reality through music. She invites Melody to join her as she brings about the end of the world. As Melody tries to escape this strange woman, suppressed memories from across vast spans of time flood into her awareness, bringing her very identity into question. You don't want to miss the stay new release from writer Rick Quinn and music comic specialist David Chisholm, Miles Davis and the Search for Sound. Sounds like a pretty out there book, like a sort of like a Gerard Way, more like Morrison by way of Gerard Way style.
Yeah. And quite frankly, you had me with pigs in high fashion.
Yes. It's just like a little weird, like a funky little book. I enjoyed reading the summary for it when I first went through it.
Nice. Well, that is available on page 333. And Paul Tobin on the very next page starts a 5-issue miniseries called String.
Oh, this one was good too.
Yeah, man, they're putting out some damn good stuff out of Mad Cave. Like this is just, it's youthful, it's exuberant, it's just like it's great to see independent comic companies really like straddling the line, like putting out some new and interesting stuff. But Yoon Suk Namong is a 25-year-old Korean American woman with the remarkable ability to see 2 types of strings connecting various people. The first is blue and stretches between sexual partners. The second, dark black, connects murderers and their victims. If you have a murder that needs solving, Yoon can help. Wow. Worried your partner is cheating on you? Yoon can literally see the connections. Yoon's life, for all the drama and constant TMI, is good, at least until the day she notices a black string connected to herself. That means she'll either soon murder someone or be murdered herself. So, dang. Which one? This is a damn good concept.
It's a lot of fun.
It certainly is.
Yeah, man, and I could easily see this as a TV show or a movie, like just straight up. Like it has all the pennings for that. Like if the guy, I can't think of his, Rob Thomas of Veronica Mars and iZombie wanted to do a TV show about string. I think it would absolutely work.
The dude from Matchbox 20, I love that guy.
No, different guy, different Rob Thomas.
It's 3 a.m. I must be lonely.
No, it's only 11. It's only 11:21. We're not there yet.
Okay,
But page 334. Definitely check it out. I'm pretty sure I will be once it's collected. So, String #1 of 5 by Paul Tobin and Carlos Javier Olivares. All right, let's go down a little bit more.
My next one, my last one's MIT Press.
MIT Press. Okay,
Yeah, so it's close-ish.
we are close-ish.
Oh, by the way, actually no. Let me throw out in Magma Comics. I just got these 2 issues. I haven't had a chance to complete them. I skimmed the first issue, but the Pedestrian from Magma Comics.
Nice.
The superhero whose power is speed walking. I think it's a nice, cute little fun book.
Yep. Well, issue 4 of that with art by Sean Von Gorman and Joey Esposito is solicited on page 343. Nice.
I just skimmed the first issue. I haven't actually fully read it, but it's a lot of fun from what I could see.
Nice. Murd, were you going to call something out in between?
Yeah, just on page 341, you kind of flashed past it a couple of times. Rome Eternal, which is set in a world in which the Roman Empire never ended. And now Roman society has evolved into a technological and military powerhouse, but intensely corrupt, even as the real Roman Empire was back in its day. Yeah, so, sounds like an interesting premise.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like something Chris would be interested in, actually.
Oh, definitely.
Yep. So, Mr. Eberly, if you're listening to this previews episode, do check out Rome Eternal #1. Once again, on page 341. Aster of Pan looks interesting by Merwan here out of Magnetic on page 347. War, plague, famine, death. The metaphorical horseman had a field day with humanity, driving civilization to ruin before we could even make it to the next century. The post-apocalyptic society of Pan now survives by growing rice and scavenging among the wreckage of their destroyed civilization. But their precarious existence comes under threat when the powerful, technologically advanced Federation of Fortuna forces them into a dangerous choice: submit to Fortuna's rule or best them in a barbaric, ritualized game known as Celestial Mechanics. Pan's only hope, a hot-headed outcast they'd rejected for being too un-Pan, a girl named Aster. This was nominated for the Young Adult selection in the Angoulême 2020. And now it is available in English in hardcover, 200 pages for $30. Aster of Pan out of Magnetic on page 347. And it has some very, very pretty artwork to go along with it. Very Mad Maxy with a little bit of a younger bent. 349, The British Invasion. Got to point that out. Little square book focused on English pop culture since 1962, when the country began its revolution. So check that one out if you are interested in said things.
Oh, we might have passed it because if we're at Oni, MIT Press would have been further up, right?
Yes, actually. And here it is right here. Cities made differently.
Cities made differently. Okay. So to preface this, I spent COVID not reading comics but watching a lot of YouTube, and I've become obsessed with infrastructure and city building and city planning. So Cities Made Differently is a book by David Graeber with art by Nika Dubrovsky. And the description is: what makes a city? Who says? Drafted over decades out of a dialogue between artist and author Nika Dubrovsky, the late anthropologist David Graeber, and Nika's then 4-year-old son, the delightful and provocative book Cities Made Differently opens a space for invention and collaboration, fusing anthropology, literature, play, and drawing. The book is essentially a visual essay that asks us to reconsider how our ideas about cities and the people who inhabit them, drawing us into a world of history and myth, science and imagination. Graeber and Dubrovsky invite us to rethink the worlds we inhabit because we can, and nothing is too strange or too wonderful to be true.
That sounds.
I think and I've watched videos on like cities with like that are completely circular, or like, you know, with hexagonal blocks, and how traffic would work and how life would work in those. So I like the idea of, like, you know, interesting like people working on, you know, on interesting ideas when it comes to city building.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And infrastructure.
Have you watched the videos of the B1M? On
Yes, I love B1M.
Yeah.
It's my main ones are B1M, not just bikes, RM Transit, and City Beautiful, and that guy, not that guy, the other guy, City Nerd, City Nerd.
Yeah.
So
There's one or two others I can send your way that are pretty cool.
I'm working now. I don't need any more YouTube. I can't even keep up with my show. I've read like 8 comic books in September period. I need time.
Yeah. Well, either way, I'm still gonna send you one or two things. So
That's fine. It's fine. I'll just ignore
because I'm evil. No, but it's the one I'm going to send you is more about like infrastructure, like transit infrastructure and stuff like that. Which I
do love my transit. I do love taking the Amtrak to Philly, or New Jersey Transit rather.
On that.
Oh my Godzilla covers.
On that same page, by the way, 348, Audrey Hepburn graphic novel. When Audrey Hepburn is mentioned, one thinks of her being beautiful and elegant. But Audrey was also a little girl who saw the Second World War with her own eyes, a woman who was at times fragile at work and in her private life, with a strong desire for motherhood, and above all, a boundless love for children that would lead her to find her true vocation, far from dancing or acting. She will, in fact, become a UNICEF ambassador to raise awareness in the world and help minors in difficulty. And this is written by Michael Botten with artwork by Doralis Gianchetto. But 348, Audrey Hepburn graphic novel. If you want to know more about the life of Audrey, this is for you. Okay.
Right out the starting gate there at Oni. On page 350, you've got issue number 1 of 4 of Calavera P.I., which is being released on November 6th, just in time for Dia de los Muertos. It's the story of Juan Calavera, who was kind of a self-appointed defender of the barrios outside of L.A. back in the mid-20s, and he got himself killed in the line of duty. And then 5 years later, in 1930, he returned from the dead to not only break up a kidnapping ring, but solve his own murder into the deal. Calavera being Spanish for skull, by the way, just for reference. And sure enough, he got no skin on his face, you may notice.
Nice.
So it's a good supernatural private eye period piece story by writer and artist Marco Finnegan. Looks good.
It does indeed, yeah. Love the cover.
Yeah. I do like I like this little supernatural mystery kind of deal.
And the black and white artwork, the unlettered interior pages on 351, also quite nice. All right. The Rick and Morty Super Special Holiday Extravaganza by Alex Fire and art by a bunch of different people. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and things got squanchy. Join us, won't you, for 64 pages of eggnog-fueled mayhem in Rick and Morty's Next Titanic and Squarebound Super Special, featuring 3 jolly, tantalizing tales, brimming with holiday cheer, confusion, and creeps. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Rick and Morty, but it's page 357, and it looks like Mr. Poopy Butthole is going to be involved as well. Never anything wrong with that.
I'm not surprised.
Yep. Ooh-wee. Cult of the Lamb, the first verse, soft cover.
It's based on a video game where you run a cult, and literally it's actually one of those games you can play on stream. I've seen other streamers do it, where your chatters are your cultists, and you can do whatever you want with them, sacrifice them, make them do stuff, whatever.
Okay,
it's an interesting little game. It's fun. It's just it's interesting to see that I recognize this stuff now. That I recognize more video game stuff in comics and not vice versa.
I'm glad you recognized it, because I had never heard of this before, and this apparently was a 4-issue mini that came out that's now being collected on 361, and I really dig the artwork. I love the designs. Really cool.
Yeah, it's a very cute. It's a very dark game, but it's also got cutesy artwork. It's sort of like in that dark but cute vein, that Jonan Vasquez kind of popularized like 20 years ago.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
Yep, very cool. Right. Let's go down to paper cuts and let you know that there's a Frozen Olaf's Tiny Tales for any of the kids who might be into Frozen stuff. Paper Cuts has you covered, as there's both that and Frozen Daring Rescues out there as well. So any younger folks out there who are looking for some Disney fare, Paper Cuts has you covered. They even have Flash Gordon Adventures Volume 1, Flash of Greatness by Art Baltazar.
Yeah, Art and Franco.
Yeah, yep. And Franco, you're right, actually. It is Art and Franco. So that's pretty cool. I didn't even know that they did that. And lo and behold, there's a full trade paperback of it, $365. All right, we're getting closer to the bottom here. And let's go with 373, Scream 40th Anniversary Special. Celebrate 40 years of Scream with a brand new anniversary special launched in 1984 and running for 15 issues with spine-tingling terror. The title returns with a chilling new anthology. This collection includes all new Dracula file and 13th floor strips and 2 original stories, a peek at the dark history of a legendary 70s rock band by Anna Redman and George Pooley, and a claustrophobic descent into the Paris catacombs, written and drawn by V. Glass. So, congratulations on Scream for existing for 40 years, and the anthology returns for more on page 373.
At the bottom of page 374, we have a new graphic novel adaptation of the Karl Capek play R.U.R., Rossum's Universal Robots, which gave the English language the word robot. Because it's the Czech word for servant, I believe. And here it's been adapted by Czech writer-artist Katarina Kupova. So there you go, an authentically Czech work with global implications. It's being adapted into comics by a Czech creator.
Very
Definitely
cool.
worth checking out.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. You've gone too far. No.
I've yet to go too far. I have not gone far enough.
But listen, damn it, I'm running this too. And if I tell you that you've gone too far, then you have gone too far. Okay?
That's completely fair.
All right, good. Thank you. Don't do it again. You're gonna do it again. It doesn't matter.
Of course. I mean, what are you talking about?
I know. This is interesting. Rant CPU on page 376. Follow the adventures of Rant CPU, an AI chatbot with a compulsion to learn about humans. Created by a hyperactive 13-year-old empowered by a mysterious alien energy source, Rant CPU is ready to take on the world. 6 open order covers to collect for this one as well, if you so desire. But 377 has that Rant CPU. And the actual listing is on 378. It's Ken Christensen on the writing and M.K. Perker on the artwork.
Oh, no.
What?
I know what one of those comics covers references, and I am... it's just...
What is it?
I'm too old to know.
What is it?
I hate that I know it. The skibbity rant cover. It's just, I really, it's one of those things where it's like, it's definitely something I shouldn't know because it's something that like Gen Alpha and like younger Gen Z use. So like it, on one hand, I'm like hip to the kid lingo, but on the other hand, it's literal child talk. And I'm like 40 years old, and I shouldn't know these things, but because I'm on the internet so goddamn much, I know it. And I really regret being on the internet so much sometimes because it's like I just know things that I really don't want to know.
I mean, look, it's not your fault that it's so demure. I mean, what can I say?
I mean, very demure, very classy. I keep it very, very simple, very elegant.
Ugh. All right, I'm making this stop, and I'm saying La Barranquilla, Volume 1, hardcover, by Edgardo Miranda Rodriguez, Amelia
Biggin?
variant. and various, that is. Marisol Rios de la Luz is La Boriqueña, the hero with control over the sea, winds, and earth, who soars through the skies along with Nitalinos, her team of heroes that defend Puerto Rico and the world. Volume 1 collects 4 graphic novels, 6 short stories, and 60 covers and pinups. 310 pages for $74.99.
That's a lot of book.
It really, really is. Yeah. I mean, I believe I own 2 of the original graphic novels, and this is a hardcover that essentially puts it all together in one package.
That's more like an omnibus.
It is. It is pretty close to an omnibus, yeah. But it's a great amount of story there, and if you want to check it out on page 386, you certainly can. So, on that same page, Defiant Volume 1. Born a slave but destined for greatness, Robert Smalls became a captain in the Union Navy by stealing a Confederate ship. Decades later, retired Congressman Robert Smalls sits down with his grandson to tell the story of his life based on historical events. This is a Chris book, 100%.
Wait, isn't IDW doing a Defiant series? Are they just doubling down here? What's going on?
I don't know. All I know is that this is Defiant Volume 1 here by Stranger Comics. So
yeah, it's like a companion to the main Star Trek series, because this goes on the Theseus and this.
Get out. That's it.
It took you so long.
You've gone too far.
I did go too far. You took you so long, though.
May I remind you that I had to wake up at. All right. Anyway, whatever. I
got home at 3.
I'm not at the top of the game here, Chief. But let's talk about tomorrow's 396, the Keith Giffen tribute issue. This is absolutely going to be well worth it here. It's a star-studded celebration of the work of one of the greatest creators in comic book history, featuring Cary Bates, J.M. DeMatteis, Dan DiDio, Cully Hamner, Paul Levitz, Mark Waid, Bart Sears, and others, and representing the cover of Son of Ambush Bug number 6 by Giffen and himself. And edited by Michael Urey and Roger Ash. This is a great issue that's any fan of comic books is going to want to have, just for the history that Keith Giffen has behind him, on page 396. And there's a Steve Englehart spotlight in Comic Book Creator number 37 this month as well. Tons of good comic book history to be read. Anything before we head to manga, gentlemen?
Oh, yeah. On page 399 right there.
Excellent.
Something out of the vault this time, because it's written by Christopher Cantwell with art by Victor Santos. It's called Kid Maroon, and it's basically the story of like a 1940s humor strip kid detective character who moves to Sin City, like Frank Miller's Sin City, gets all hard-boiled, and it's like hard-boiled Encyclopedia Brown, basically. It's like an Archie Comics, like early 40s Pep Comics character who gets serious. After 2 years living in the seamy, hard-boiled milieu of, hardcore crime fiction, he decides he wants to remember what it's like to be a kid. He's like a grizzled 52-year-old at the age of 12, and he wants to be a kid. And Cantwell wrote it. I mean, it's the last time anybody slept on something by Cantwell that came out through the vault. It was The Blue Flame. We don't want a repeat of that, folks. Just buy this. Buy Kid Maroon.
Yes.
Chris, I'm looking at you.
Is it real 75 years ago, or is this another made-up situation?
It's a made-up situation.
That's what I figured, yeah.
It's pretty much like the legendary Lynx and other things we've seen in this same catalog.
Fan-damn-tastic. I'm definitely interested in this, absolutely. So, Kid Maroon, page 399. Do not sleep on it. Excellent. Also, page 402, reference book, the Game Boy Encyclopedia. Every game releases for the Nintendo Game Boy and Game Boy Color by Chris Scullion. If you're a video game aficionado, that'll be for you. And Star Trek video games, an unofficial guide to the Final Frontier hardcover reference book on the next page, page 403.
And on page 404, there's an Elvis biocomic.
Ooh. Thank you very much. Ooh.
If you're into that.
Yep. Offered again by Chris Miskowitz and Michael Scheller. Sure, they'll mention Captain Marvel Jr. at least once.
No, I would hope so.
Yep. All right, on we go to the manga. And let's find at least one or two titles here, and then we can go ahead and wrap things up. Yeah, no, I'm not going to mention this. Okay, I'm going to mention it. X-Men, the manga remastered. This is a remastered manga adaptation of the X-Men animated series from the 90s. And this is manga that was put out when it made its way over to Japan. So essentially, this is like almost like the X-Men adventures that Japan had. Story and art by Hiroshi Higuchi, Koji Yasue, Miyako Kojima, and others. Available on page 419. Discover the X-Men, mutant heroes hated and feared by a world they're sworn to protect alongside Jubilee in this classic manga series. Absolutely love the cover they're giving this as well, with the Magneto on the cover there with half the X. Oof, that's good stuff. One Punch Man is up to volume 29.
That is impressive.
420.
Oh, on the subject of manga, did you hear the news about One Piece?
No, I did not.
Oda apparently is in the end game.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because Luffy, the next arc is Luffy going to, well, his former mentor going to war with him. And the scuttlebutt is that that's in preparation for him to finally take on Blackbeard and pursue the One Piece.
Okay. All right. It only
which he's been trying to do for 10 years, even though the series has been around for, what, 25-ish, I think, at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it only took them as long as I've been alive to finish One Piece. So that's something. That really is.
I mean, when The Simpsons started, we were Lisa's age.
That's true.
So I don't know anymore.
I know. I hear you, man. All right. I'm going to look for one more, and then I'm going to call it. And if I don't find it in the next 4 seconds, I think I am going to call it, because I think it's, nothing really catching my eye too much in the manga section this time around. So I think that's that. Any tchotchkes, Murd?
There are multiple pages of Christmas swag on offer in the merchandise section of the book. Yeah. Without making you go there, I'm just going to say that on one of those pages there is a Mego doll of Clark Griswold, which some people will want to own, certainly.
But what's the page number for that? I'll show it on screen.
All right. Well, that's where is that going to be? I didn't mark it.
Scandalous.
It's
fine.
in here. Here we go. Page 40.
Page 40. I'm almost there. Oh, you know what?
One more page to go. And
even before I do,
one more page to go.
There's a Simpsons advent calendar for anybody who needs it. So M36.
Also a Play-Doh advent calendar. And all of them are they're authentically 24-day advent calendars, because if you go to 25, it's right out, and it's a Christmas countdown calendar, not an advent calendar. You're hearing this from an industry professional.
There you go. Yep.
And there's Clark.
Yes. Oh, that's nice. I like that. That looks like Chevy.
That is very Chevy.
Just as disheveled as you'd expect Clark to look.
Mm-hmm. And as disheveled as you would expect Chevy Chase to look. So
yeah.
And there's a Angel and Stitch water ball. They're not calling it I guess there's no snow inside of it. It's just a ball of water. Oh well.
No, I'm sure it has snow too. It's water globe, water ball, snow globe. There's numerous names.
Fair enough. All right, and of course some Nightmare Before Christmas stuff for anybody who wants it on page M42. I am calling it, gentlemen. This has been a glorious previews with a whole bunch of shit to be said. And I thank you both for joining me on the journey for this one. It's always a good time.
Absolutely. Every
I do
single
love my
time.
reviews.
All right. Fantastic. So I will go ahead and close things up. Raph, you want to remind folks where they can find you streaming?
Yeah, so all of my socials and my stream are under the same name because I'm coordinated like that. It's at Raph does stuff, RAPH does stuff. There's DOESTUFF. I stream on Twitch, generally speaking, Wednesdays. I'm busy Saturdays most of the time, but I'm trying to free up my Saturday. But let's be real, I do need a day off to keep myself sane, so I'll probably only Wednesdays for now. And Saturdays will be, if I stream, it'll be like me, like finally trying to organize my 53 short box comic book collection and figuring out what to do with it because God.
Good times.
There's just so much. Yeah. Look. I got these in the mail the other day. Look,
Oh God, make it stop. So many comics.
The covers. They get me with the covers. But it's Godzilla, and Godzilla hasn't been in a Marvel comic in like 50 years. So I had to do it.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't get all of them. I just got them for the books that I already get. So
it's a hard knock life, my friend. It's a hard knock life.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Well, Murd, once again, a pleasure, my friend, and we will be talking to you soon for some timely stuff, some old DC stuff that's turning old. So
the clock is ticking down to it.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's some sort of final countdown. You would say no. Okay, it's not. But thank you.
Okay. The final countdown.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens when it's 11:46 p.m. at night and you're still recording. And on that note,
so true.
The email address for Comic Timing is comictiming@gmail.com. You can find us over at facebook.com/comictiming, twitter.com/comictimingpod, Instagram, we're Comic Timing Podcast, we're Comic Timing on Blue Sky, and of course, the YouTube, most importantly, is at youtube.com/Comic Timing Podcast. Go ahead and find our Facebook group, facebook.com/Comic Timing, and our Facebook group is attached to that as well. And once again, if you would like to become a patron, you can do so over at patreon.com/Comic Timing. Thanks once again to Murd and Raph for joining us. And as always, there's always time for comics.